Zeus, it would be the vow. Big Zeus, boy, to the gate, 1600 on the map. Supposed to be the people's house, I make it like a trap. Mama frozen chandeliers, I'm balling through the wall. Power through the people, yeah, I gotta make that call. Trapping for the team, red and white and blue, that's me. Voices on the block, I'm breaking through, I got the keys. I'm in the lobby, yeah, I'm moving like an OG. Posted in the Oval Office in the executive suite. Signing for the fam, yeah, you know my game strong. Freedom is the banner and I got my chains on. Secret Service watching snipers sitting on the roof. Truth is hitting hard, I bury you inside the booth. Founding father's vision, yeah, I'm flexing with this cash. Big pharma, big tech, turn these dreams to bag. I'm the voice of the hood, trying to come and storm the gates. Balance in my hand, but the system's overweight. They painted white, yeah, but the stains running deep. Promise they selling it, but you know it ain't coming cheap. Legends walk these rooms, Lincoln, MLK, now it's photo ops, power plays all day. I'm trapping for the vote. Yeah, Big Zeus, it's the people's house. Powers in the air.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen.
We knocking on the door, Zeus. We wanna hear your soul.
Let's go.
Yeah. Who you think they asking for? They asking for that smoke. People on the
Marissa, good morning. Kabira, all of you. Shelly, good morning, Blackbird. Greatest story ever told. I will never ever fold. I'm trapping out the West Wing, doing deals up in the dark. Happy Tuesday. Let's go, let's go.
Got the Constitution jumping, yeah, you know I'm so divine. No stains on my kicks and the rally outside, and the gates is locked. This power never divides.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. W. Kabira, thank ya.
1600, do it all day, all night.
The people's house is a trap. Got the power, bring it back. Money talk, loud, time to clap.
Fight for the keys.
Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we are back. Let's go.
In the people's house.
Tootie, thank you. Mary Bell, thank you. How are you doing? All right.
It's the people's house. We wanna hear your soul.
Let's get this show started, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness, we are back and we gotta get through it. All right, you know what we do. All right, let's get it going. Let's go. They don't like seeing me when I show up in the morning, but somebody has to do this, and you know who it is. It's me. Let's go, Meredith. I'll be back. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta bring it to the game. Let's go. I'm on top of my game, ahead of the class. You can tell that I made it. Look at my grass. Cars in the garage with tanks full of gas.
I play the game so well, I won't finish last.
Sitting in my living room screaming how we made it. This is how it's supposed to happen when you're rich and famous. You know what I'm saying? I guess we going viral cause my zodiac. I got all these numbers on my spreadsheet. Benjamin Franklin is my bestie. Am I right, Evan? Little hot. Right, Kabira? I said with my chest cause I mean it. Got a lot of confidence when I'm conceding. Here it goes. Here it goes.
I'ma take off.
Here it goes.
I'll tell you what, I haven't gone into Zeus's live.
Live.
That shit was radical.
Keep it clean.
It was horrible.
Oh.
I'm like, Zeus has gone way off the rails.
It's like deja vu.
Wow.
It's like deja vu.
I mean, you can't say anything nice about Big Zeus. It hurts every time. It really does. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. It hurts every single time I hear those words because I know they're lying. They're like, I haven't been there in a while. No, you've been in my show, whether it was at your main account or your backup account, but we'll get into that later. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Thunderdome. I'm your host. I'm your pilot, and you know exactly why we once again are gathered here. We have to save this great country of ours from the evil clutches of guess who? You know who. But before we get into that, let's take care of some very important housekeeping items. For those of you who do not know who I am, I go by the name Zeus, or as some like to say, Triple H. And why do they call me Triple H? Well, it's quite simple. The first stage is because I'm honest, the most honest person on social media, hands down. All right. The second H is, well, it's because I'm humble. Listen, if I get it wrong, I will be the first to apologize. You know, sort of like what, you know, she thinks that we beat her up yesterday, but to be honest, Dopamine, we didn't beat you up yesterday. No. But if your feelings were hurt, I don't have to apologize for that. But if I did make a mistake, I would apologize. But if your feelings are hurt, no, that does not count. All right. So, but if I would be humble enough to apologize. All right. Because I think actually apologizing is a good thing. And then the last and the final H, ladies and gentlemen, is because you've guessed it, I am and will always remain the most handsome. Nutty and Santana, they don't like it when I say that, but somebody has to say it. Listen, I'll take the trophy for Santana. They don't like it when I say that, but somebody has to say it. Listen, I'll take the trophy for the team, so to speak, all right? Now, like I said, many of you know exactly why we are gathered here this morning. Once again, we have a country to save, and only we can, and it's really one show at a time, all right? Every day, WCC in the live. Whoa, CC. Thank you. Seriously. We have to save this country of ours, one show at a time, and it really is real work. This is people don't understand. Having to debunk and destroy these MAGA demons on a daily basis is a lot of work, because you got to always stay 1 or 2, maybe even 10 steps ahead of the lick, which we all know. Straight Facts brought up yesterday. Donald Trump is pulling a huge lick on the country, and so we stay ahead of it so that we can make sure that those of you who are paying attention don't end up being led astray, like his deranged and MAGA possessed lunatic supporters who basically sold their soul for nothing, and now they are nothing but vassals of transgressions for Donald J. Trump. So let me say this. Do we have any Trump supporters in here today? I just want to double check and check the temperature. Any Trump supporters out there? Anyone out there still supporting Donald Trump, despite the fact that they know he's never, ever going to give you anything? I just want to check the temperature. Another pardon to a crooked sheriff. Yeah, I saw him do that. And I said, they can't tell me they're the party of law and order at this point. You're the party of no laws, no order, just smelling Trump's dirty diaper. Okay, anybody out there still supporting Donald Trump? Because, hey, attacking, nice to see you, champ. Yeah, see, there's so many, I would call them real truthful Americans in this chat. And it doesn't matter what side of the aisle you're on this show, as long as you're able to get in the box and at least be honest with all of us who are in this country right now enduring the hell that Donald Trump and his MAGA demons are trying to bring. So what I'll say is this. Trump supporters know by now it's better to just keep it zipped up in my live, because you know they're going to get totally annihilated. So I'll say this anyway. If you are a Trump supporter in this chat right now, please do me a huge favor. Leave right now. Leave this show right now, all right? Because I know the demon inside of you can't control it, but leave and go hang out with these fake TikTok hosts. You know, the ones like, his name is Snuggie. I call Snuggie barbecue. No, I call him burnt barbecue chicken, because you know nobody wants burnt barbecue chicken, right? But this is what you guys do. You get on TikTok and you lie and you try to convince us that gas prices are down, and they're not. You're trying to convince us that there is no tax on tips, there's no tax on overtime, yada yada yada, and it all is basically a bunch of lies. So leave and you go hang out with them, because they'll lie to you. But over here, we're not going to do that. We're going to tell you the truth, so help us God. All right? And I know you don't believe me, so what I say is this: you don't got to take my word for it. Listen to your leader.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S., if you're complaining all the time, very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
All right. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, the doors to the Thunderdome have officially closed. And then you know what? I am not responsible for what happens. All right. I'm not, because I'm not a therapist. I can't process. I don't read all the comments. But lightning's about to start striking. And listen up, you Trump supporters. You're not allowed to be victims around us at all, because I'm going to always bring it up. What you did on January 6th. It's unforgivable. I don't care if Donald Trump pardons you and gives you money. you're still dirty, disgusting, seditionist, treasonous traitors. There's no amount of money that's ever going to erase that. All right. And so, you know what I'm going to do? Let's go ahead and warm up the lake of fire. For all of you Trump supporters out there that still think Donald Trump won the 2020 election and think that January 6th, which was the worst act in American history in terms of domestic tea, and you participated in it, ladies and gentlemen, let's warm up the lake of fire and send them where they belong. It doesn't take long to do the lake of fire. Sometimes I just want to start the show off by doing it. Let's go ahead and send every single one of you MAGA possessed demons where you belong, straight to hell.
Silence, you MAGA demon.
W Zeus. W Zeus. Now, what I want to do, ladies and gentlemen, is, I said something. I said we miss Joe Biden. Why do we miss Joe Biden, ladies and gentlemen? And a lot of you Trump supporters, y'all like to say, oh, he had health issues and they hid him from the media. And I go, no. You all just came up with a reason to try to just jump on Joe Biden because we know what Joe Biden did. Joe Biden told the truth about you. And what I want to do is get this on the record so that we all understand why MAGA really hates Joe Biden. And it's because of the things Joe Biden said about him. You tell me, does this sound like somebody who can't say words and and has cognitive issues, ladies and gentlemen? Does this sound like somebody who has cognitive issues?
And I believe it's my duty to level with you, to tell the truth, no matter how difficult, no matter how painful. And here, in my view, is what is true. MAGA Republicans do not respect the Constitution. They do not believe in the rule of law. They do not recognize the will of the people. They refuse to accept the results of a free election. And they're working right now, as I speak, in state after state, to give power to decide elections in America to partisans and cronies, empowering election deniers to undermine democracy itself. MAGA forces are determined to take this country backwards to an America where there is no right to choose, no right to privacy, no right to contraception, no right to marry who you love. They promote authoritarian leaders and they fan the flames of political violence that are a threat to our personal rights, to the pursuit of justice, to the rule of law, to the very soul of this country.
Does anybody feel like Joe Biden has any cognitive issues? Did we all understand what President Biden said? Yeah. See, these folks, I went over there on Fox News. This is why I'm angry. And I got people that I know sending me videos and they're trying to make it look like there was some sort of scandal about President Biden. And I said, we all knew Joe Biden was an elderly statesman. All right. But we knew that when he really decided he needed to say something, he was going to say it and he was going to make perfect sense. Unlike this knucklehead that we saw yesterday at Arlington Cemetery, Cryptologico, what the heck was Donald Trump saying? So it's a clear difference. This is why Trump supporters are upset with President Biden. And I said, you know what? W's in the chat for President Biden. You want to know what else President Biden said about you nasty Trump supporters? Let me go ahead and get this on the record. And again, y'all tell me if y'all have a difficult time understanding President Biden.
Well, let me tell you something. I don't know the Puerto Rican that I know, or Puerto Rico where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
All he did is he said the only garbage he sees floating around out there are his supporters. And you Trump supporters, y'all understood what he said. And that's why y'all all got worked up about it. So I don't buy any narrative that, they were hiding president. Why would Joe Biden, honestly, ladies and gentlemen, he's an older person. Let me go ahead. You know what I want to do to MAGA? I want to remind MAGA that they understand that they understood Joe Biden. Y'all remember this moment, ladies and gentlemen? Y'all remember when he dressed up like that and he put on that trash outfit and y'all went around and y'all wore trash bags, MAGA? I want y'all to always remember you wore those trash bags because Joe Biden called you garbage and you owned it. And your dear leader made sure you owned it. He made sure you swallowed that pill like a bunch of, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, W. Joe Biden, I got to give it to you. MAGA Republicans don't respect the Constitution. They're hell-bent on sending this country backwards. That's why they're trying to use acts like the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Listen, in 1798, you didn't have internet, but y'all want to go back there. Horse and buggies. Calls you garbage and y'all turn around and put trash bags on. I mean, at this point, if you don't respect yourself, why do you expect us to respect you, W. Zeus? And the jig is up, MAGA. The jig is totally up because even Donald Trump is starting to realize nobody really respects him. I mean, he's going after Harvard, an elite university, the oldest university in the United States of America, and he's targeting Harvard. Why? Why is he targeting Harvard? Because none of his supporters are smart enough to get into Harvard and be, able to walk in the feet of, guess who, Barack Hussein Obama. You can't even walk in Obama's shoes. Y'all stick to, we're going to take the money Harvard was getting and we're going to give it to the Trump supporters so that they can, learn how to become plumbers and stuff like that. Listen, these folks don't want to be plumbers. These Trump supporters, they don't want to make iPhones. Everybody knows that. So what you're doing is you're robbing Peter and you're paying Trump, and that's illegal. And so what we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, is once again, let's go ahead and warm up the lake of fire, because Trump supporters, they got to be the silliest group of people we've ever seen in our country. Silly, and I can't even say it because, TikTok will take me down, but let's just go ahead and send them where they belong, straight to hell. Yeah.
Silence!
What I want to ask you, Trump supporters, is this. How did we, if Donald Trump is so respected, right? If he's so respected and revered all around the world, if he has such great, people just look at him and they say, oh my gosh, this is the greatest president the United States has ever produced, right? And they go, maybe we should try to emulate him. If this is who he truly is, then explain how we went from this.
If I'm president, I will have that.
How did we go from this?
If I'm president, I will have that war settled in one day, 24 hours.
Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the disastrous war between Russia and Ukraine settled. I would get a settlement in 24 hours. That is a war that's dying to be settled. I will get it settled before I even become president.
And within 24 hours, that war will be settled. It'll be over.
I will get it solved in rapid order, and it will take me no longer than one day.
I'm going to try, and I think I can, get it ended as president-elect. In other words, before I even take over the White House.
We're having very serious discussions about that war.
Now, this is how he sounds the moment he gets sworn in. Listen to how all the confidence, all the gas in his tank just basically evaporated, because gas evaporates. Putin, I just can't even believe it. I'm going to be honest with you. Putin is looking at the Trump administration and saying, you're going to put a no-star general, alcoholic, as your Secretary of Defense up against me? How insulting, Trump. So Putin was insulted at that. And then you think Putin thinks Trump is one of the brightest minds of our time? Absolutely not. And he is playing Donald Trump and his supporters like a fiddle. I mean, Trump thinks at a certain point Putin is going to enter into some sort of trade deal and start giving him money like all of these other countries that are corrupt are doing. And Putin is like, hey, bro, check this out. If there's anybody that's actually a mob boss and doing it the real way, it's me. Why would I turn around and start paying you when I'm the war criminal? And he knows Trump is too afraid to be a war criminal. So it's all talk with him. Putin is really about that action, just like Zelensky is. And they're looking at Trump and his supporters going, something is really wrong with him. But listen to just how weak Donald Trump sounds, saying he's going to settle this war in 24 hours. And keep in mind, this is right after he gets sworn in.
Trying to get it ended with Russia.
And I think we're on the way to getting peace. I think President Putin wants peace. And
You think?
President Zelensky wants peace, and I want peace.
Maybe Russia will give up a lot.
Maybe
Maybe they won't. And it's all dependent on what is going to happen. The negotiation really hasn't started. And I think I have the power to end this war. And I think it's going very well. But today I heard, we weren't invited. Well, you've been there for 3 years. You should have ended it 3 years. You should have never started it. You could have made a deal. I've known him for a long time now. And I think he will. I don't believe he's going to violate his word. I don't think he'll be back. When we make a deal, I think the deal is going to hold. Zelensky, she said before, we want to work with him, and we will work with him. I think the president and I actually have had a very good relationship. If you didn't have our military
this is beating up Zelensky.
If you didn't have our military equipment, this war would have been over in 2 weeks.
In 3 days, I heard it from Putin. In 3 days. This is something
maybe less.
In 2 weeks.
It's going to be a very hard thing to do business like this.
Please,
you're running low on soldiers. It would be a damn good thing. And then you tell us, I don't want a ceasefire. I don't want a ceasefire. I want to go and I want this. But you're either going to make a deal or we're out. And if we're out, you'll fight it out. I don't think it's going to be pretty, but you'll fight it out.
As a candidate, you said you would have this war settled in 24 hours.
Well, I was being a little bit sarcastic when I said that. I mean, what I really mean is I'd like to get it settled.
So he was being sarcastic with Putin. MAGA. Do you understand? This is why the Democrats, they say we need to move more to the center in order to get y'all to come back. And I'm okay with that. But y'all got to move back towards reality. W. Zeus. It's time, MAGA. It's time for you to move back towards reality, because this is what we're doing is every show. It's helping you to understand you need to start accepting the truth at a certain point. So this is Trump, ladies and gentlemen, going from I will have this thing ended in 24 hours to what the hell is going on with Putin? He's crazy. Listen up.
Yeah, I'll give you an update. I'm not happy with what Putin's doing. He's killing a lot of people, and I don't know what the hell happened to Putin. I've known him a long time, always gotten along with him, but he's sending rockets into cities and killing people, and I don't like it at all. Okay? We're in the middle of talking, and he's shooting rockets into Kiev and other cities. I don't like it at all.
Mr. President, what do you want to do about that?
I'm surprised. I'm very surprised. We'll see what we're going to do. What am I going to tell you? You're the fake news, aren't you? You're totally fake. Any other questions? I don't like what Putin is doing, not even a little bit. He's killing people. And something happened to this guy, and I don't like it.
Can I follow up on that?
So, ladies and gentlemen, now it's Donald Trump seems to understand that the truth is upon us now, and that Putin is crazy. He's a war criminal, and he's been like that, Trump, since you've claimed you've known him for a long time. This isn't new to anybody. This isn't new. But what is new is that you are now all of a sudden, ladies and gentlemen, once again, and we did this yesterday, but I want to make sure I keep hammering this point home. You are now letting your supporters know that Joe Biden was right, that you don't respect the Constitution. You are letting them know that they're garbage. And you are also letting them know that you're not able to get that war settled in 24 hours. And so, in other words, they all now see you for what you are, a liar. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and warm up the lake of fire one more time. You know what this is for? To all of you Trump supporters out there that still are trusting and hoping and believing in Donald Trump like he's the Messiah, I hope today you understand he is not a Messiah. He's a liar. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send him straight to hell. He's not the Messiah. He's not the Messiah.
Silence, you MAGA.
He's not the Messiah. He's the liar. And I just made that up. W. Zeus. There's a thing on the internet, Grok. You can ask Elon Musk app Grok. Someone did it, and I watched it, and they say, Grok, how many people has Donald Trump ripped off? And Grok came back and said, we know of at least 7,000 or 8,000 people that Donald Trump has ripped off. But you know what? I thought about it, and I said, Donald Trump actually has ripped off every single one of his supporters. So how many, what was it, 77 million or so? Yeah, all been ripped off. Actually, I would go as far as to say the entire population of the earth, Donald Trump is completely ripped off. So we already know Donald Trump, he's lying and all that stuff. So anybody that still believes Donald Trump is telling the truth, guess what? Something's wrong with you. Okay, buddy. And Joe Biden was the sharpest attack. Remember, WrestleMania, come on up here. I'm glad that you came here, WrestleMania. Come on up here, because I just played the clip of what Joe Biden said. You said you don't think he's sharp as attack? Let's go ahead. Remember when Joe Biden said this, WrestleMania? You didn't ask. Oh, I'm so glad you asked me to do it.
Delaware, they're good, decent, they're good Delaware. They're home state or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware. They're good, decent, honorable people.
Remember when Biden
the
said this?
The garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters.
The only garbage I see floating around out there are his supporters. Joe Biden. If you don't understand that, then you don't understand the English language, and that's a personal issue, all right? But I invited you to come up here, and honestly, you were too afraid to come up here because you knew what I was going to do to you, all right? So I don't want to hear it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, listen, that concludes my monologue. Did you see Caterpillar, the huge company, is leaving the USA because of tariffs? No, but again, if that's what's going on, I'll take your word for it. It's just another example of the incompetence of the Trump administration and his fan base and his, the people who still support him. They are literally out here advocating for their own demise. And at this point, ladies and gentlemen, it's like you have a bunch of mice. I call them mice, but maybe I shouldn't, because mice are actually more brilliant than MAGA. But these people, you're saying, listen, if you do this, you're going to end up hurting yourself. You're going to really put yourself in a bad situation if you do it. And they'll say, well, is it really that bad? Because think about it. I don't really need Medicaid. Well, what have you been doing all your life, and how have you been taking yourself? Well, I've been on Medicaid. Well, you don't think you need Medicaid? You don't think you need Social Security? No, because my dear leader said that if I walk by faith, not by sight, and believe in Trump, I will be able to go get a job at Google, perhaps as a software engineer, making around $200,000. Wouldn't you like to make $200,000 a year? And they say to themselves, oh, yes, I would rather make $200,000 a year working at Google as a software engineer than to collect this Social Security. That makes perfect sense. But guess what? They don't understand. They don't have the qualifications, the background, or experience to do these things, and that their dear leader is doing nothing but gaslighting them and making them walk off of a cliff that we all know will end in their total destruction. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give W Zeus, because what I did, I just broke it down to the Trump supporters, what's ultimately about to happen to them. And so this is why we do shows like this, because it takes stuff like this to save this great country of ours. Ladies and gentlemen, do we have any Trump supporters in the chat right now that are willing to get up here and confess their sins in front of us? All right. How many people would like to hear MAGA get in the box and honestly confess their sins and help us all understand how they got to where they're at? Go ahead. Please identify yourselves. It doesn't take long. And if you try to bring up Joe Biden or Barack Obama or Vice President Kamala Harris, I just want to caution you. I can go find any video, audio clip of the things that they have said and totally prove that you're wrong. So it's best we stick to policy. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter. Let's see if this knucklehead will come up, because if they don't, it's at a point now where I don't even want to. You only got 4 followers, and it's like, what? I'm not even entertaining that. Yeah. So look at this. Trump was already ending the war in Afghanistan. He was just doing it right. And so what is your point? Because if you think drawing down our troop numbers the way that he did was a good idea without having any contingency plans to actually help the president that was coming in, Biden, actually execute that, then I think it was a terrible thing. And you know why he didn't help Biden with the transition plan, right? You didn't know? Let me help you understand why the Afghanistan withdrawal is 110% Trump's fault. I'll tell you why. Because instead of engaging in what we all know has been a sacred American tradition called the peaceful transfer of power, guess what? Biden had to come in fighting a domestic war against Donald Trump and his supporters. So we didn't get the intelligence that we needed to actually make it a smoother transition. And so what we'll never do, ladies and gentlemen, is we can't blame Joe Biden for that. Absolutely not. What we will continue to do is blame Donald J. Trump and his legion of supporters for that, because they know they were wrong. Number one. But then number two, let's go back to the pandemic, where Donald Trump told each and every single one of you to hit the body with light and to inject yourselves with disinfectant. Need I say more? W Zeus in the chat. Need I say more? Rika Denny, are you a Trump supporter? You're a Trump supporter, Rika? Oh, what's a lie, Trav? What's a lie? Send me a guest request. Trav, you said that's a lie. Come on up here if you don't mind. This is your one chance to talk to Big Zeus and get it all out how you feel. All right, because you all say a bunch of things. When I'm wrapping up the show, and I do drill, baby, drill, this is when they all start to pipe up and act all tough. Okay, let's see. Rika Denny, come on up here. I sent you an invite. Let's see. I sent you an invite. Okay, all right. Send me a guest request and I'll bring you up. How did that happen? I can only do one at a time. Hold on. Oh, wait a minute. Rika, are you a Trump supporter?
Absolutely not. Oh my God. No way.
Oh, okay. Well, what can I do for you this morning?
Oh, absolutely not. I just love watching your stream. I mean, you be on point, and I hate when I miss you.
Oh.
And I'm just so glad when I get to catch you, because you get them going. You fry them every single time. I love it.
Do you think do you believe that what we do on this show, especially not just myself, but some of the amazing panelists I bring up, do you think we're too harsh on these people? Because they say I spread hatred and that we're running a cult over here. What are your thoughts on that, if you don't mind?
Absolutely not. I think you should be harder on them, especially the ones who realize the mistake that they made. I hate the fact that they say that we're spreading hate when they are the haters. They are the creators of the hate that is going on.
Yeah.
They are the ones who are angry at us for absolutely no reason.
Do you have a TV on in your background, Rika? Do you have a TV on? Because I'm kind of having a hard.
I do. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's go ahead and get that ironed out, because I don't want them to miss the pure truth you're bringing to them. So there's a character in here, Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom, and I'm going to do a number on him. There's a guy I'm working with, JTA Creations. We're going to do a number on him in a short order. But why do you think they continue to come back in here every morning if they really don't like what you and I and others are doing? What do you think is going on in their world?
I simply really believe that it's the fact that they realize that they're wrong, and they're trying to argue with themselves about it. So they want to try to press the blame somewhere else. So they try to point their finger at us like we're the blame for it, when they're the cause of their own misery. Their own misery. I don't know how many times I heard a man crying on, I think it was Johnny Pademas. I forget how to pronounce his last name, on his live stream.
Yeah.
But the man was 67 years old. He said he had a farm that had been in his family for 100 years. And he said he had took out contracts with the government, and Elon Musk snatched those contracts up and left him in debt. He said, I lost it all. I lost every bit of it.
A 67-year-old fool. A 67-year-old fool.
Exactly. He was sobbing. This man was literally crying, and he kept saying, I am so sorry.
Good.
He said, I can't believe I went and voted for my own demise. I was like,
Rika, that is... Yes, you did vote for your own demise. That's exactly what every single one of you demons did. Ain't that sad?
And they're crying. They're crying. One lady said when they cut out the Medicaid, she didn't realize. She knew she was getting funding from the Medicaid.
Yeah.
And she said it cost $24,000 a month for her to take care of her son, who was, he was a special need.
Did you say?
And
Wait. I can't let you slide through that number like that. Did you say $24,000 a month?
yes,
Do you
yes,
know I talk to people who don't even make that in a year that support
right.
Trump? Ain't that crazy?
Right. That's what I was thinking.
These
And she
people.
said that since he cut that, it cut out a bunch of the like medications and all the machines that they need, and like he had a special van and everything. And she said now we're gonna have to file bankruptcy, and that leaves us with nothing because we already have a mortgage on our property.
Wow. Let me ask the audience about that story. Does anyone out there feel sorry for this Trump supporter that this happened to? Does anyone out there feel sorry for this person? This person voted for Trump and now they're suffering. I just want to check the audience. Y'all some cold people. They some cold. But guess what? There has to be some sort of punishment for doing this. I haven't seen one. Yes. Wow.
They, to me, they're the ones who are the only ones who can help their own selves because they're the ones who drug us all down this rabbit hole with them.
Yeah. Were the warning signs that? Do you think these people had a choice this election, though? Honestly, because they say they really didn't have a choice. It was Kamala Harris, who can barely get through an interview, or obviously Donald Trump, who's been a victim of a two-tier justice system. Did they really have a choice?
Are they serious right now? Are they serious? The man literally posted what he was going to do to this country if he made it to the presidency. He literally told them. One lady was saying, I know I read it. I seen it on his 2025 project. She said, but I didn't really think that he was really meaning that it meant me. Like us. I thought it was just for the immigrants and other lawbreakers, not us.
Yeah.
And she said, now me and my husband, she said, I literally wanted to punch my husband in the face because he talked me into and made me believe that Trump was the right vote. I looked at him. She said, I really want to punch you in the face.
Wow.
Because now we lost everything. Another one saying, we voted for our own demise. I really want to punch you in the face. And she was on the live stream and she was saying, I need for you guys to keep me occupied so I don't go punch my husband in the face.
Whoa, they gonna keep her occupied. Oh yeah. See, I love hearing stories like that because I know that she would jump ship to be with a real winner if she had the chance to, and y'all know what I mean, because nobody wants to be around a broke individual, right? And this is what Donald Trump has done to the relationship. Your man's now broke, ladies, and you know what that means. And guess what? I'm not available. Oh, what'd you do? Oh, he tricked you into voting for Trump. You couldn't think for yourself. Okay, so y'all got into arguments about everything. You know, they argued all throughout the relationship. Oh, we should go here. Because she had an opinion about a lot of things. But all of a sudden, when it came to Trump, he just strong-armed you in that booth. You went in there by yourself. You could have went in the booth and lied.
I don't even know how he talked us into it. She said, she said, I'm still sitting here trying to figure out how I voted for my own demise. She said the day after he did the ICE thing, she said they knew that they had immigrants, undocumented immigrants working for them. She said they knew this when they went and stood in line and voted. She said once they came back from the vote and he passed those policies, she said every last one of her workers left. She was showing her cattle that weren't cared for and dying. She was showing rotting fields of food. I was just like, wow.
Yeah.
I did this to myself.
Yeah. I can't with you, Rika. Okay, seriously, Rika. because I know it's true. Because I'm laughing, and again, that's how they talk. Instead of just simply admitting, I made a huge mistake and I apologize and coming on this show, and when we tell them to come up and just confess in their sins. And so this is why we got to just be able to laugh at these folks, because do you think the suffering is over for these people, or is there going to be more?
Oh my gosh, it's going to get so deep for them. It's going to get so deep for them.
Deep! W. Rika!
them how do they deal with it.
No.
Because we know how to deal with
Yeah.
it. We've lived it.
Yeah.
These people are in for a shock that they can't even imagine. And then I want them to automatically reflect back. This is what you made us live through.
Yeah.
This is what you had us living on. This is how you had us living. So I want you to just enjoy.
Thank you.
Enjoy what you voted for. This is what you want.
Yeah. That's what, and we're going to help them.
Suffer like they are.
We're not, because we prepared for the chaos and the destruction. You see, one last thing though, you hear what's happening in these red states with FEMA. Have you heard about this? The tornadoes and the hurricanes and the floods are coming, and it's knocking out power. It's knocking their houses down. It's like the big bad wolf, so to speak, right? You know what the big bad wolf did in the Three Little Pigs? It's doing that time. The wolf is coming. The wolf is here. And guess what FEMA is like? Well, we ain't doing nothing for you. And so I'm reading now, and they say a lot of these ruby red states are going to be, by midterms, they're going to be on their knees surrendering all power to the Democrats. They're going to be on their knees going, here you go, Democrats. Take it. Take my vote, please. Please take it.
You heard about the senator of North Carolina writing a letter to Trump and begging him to extend the FEMA. And he said Trump answered him back no. And then the damage that is done to their state is just phenomenal.
Hurricane Helene.
They're all crying.
They're crying.
Begging for him to hold it, and Trump said absolutely not.
Thank you. And so what we got going on, ladies and gentlemen, is MAGA is in a world of suffering and punishment right now, and it's about to crack. The wheel is about to snap, because think about it. They're not getting the manufacturing jobs, right? Their houses have been blown down by the big bad wolf, right? They're going to get cut off with their Social Security and their Medicaid and their Medicare. All that's going away. What will they do with themselves?
You know, I'm sitting and thinking, let's not forget the tariffs for the wood to rebuild. So they're in such deep doo-doo that I wonder if they can even smell a rose.
Get them with it.
Smell a rose. They're just so, and all I can do is laugh.
Yeah.
And you know what I send them a message of?
What's
Maybe
that?
you should call FEMA.
Oh, we need to do that. Call Tyrone remix, huh? Can we do the call? You're right, Rika. You're totally right. You know,
they were really under the impression. I talked to some people, some MAGAs, and they were really under the impression that FEMA was money that American people were just lying about and getting to just redo their houses or have them pay for their houses to be built. And yes, they just thought that we were really just getting money from FEMA, and they weren't really out there to help with any of the problems.
Wow.
Just to be fraudulent.
And they used to complain about the remember the $750 after Hawaii, and they said that's not enough. Yeah. But you know what? It just made me think of right now, because they're suffering. It's going to be like in the good book, the Bible talks about a person that's in hell, and all they just want is that drop of water to quench their thirst. Right? Exactly. This is what is going. Please, FEMA, give us that $750, and it'll restore my soul and make me whole. And guess what? You're gonna lay there and burn.
I don't want to get off track a little bit, but did you see the post that Elon Musk had posted? He was literally begging for forgiveness from the American people, saying that he was turning on Trump. He said Trump robbed him and used him.
No. I didn't see that, but I know that trick. He's trying to pull another lick. Elon, you made your bed. You got to lay in it. Zeus, Rika. We're not going to accept Elon. You can't do that kind of destruction to this great country of ours and then turn around and come crawling back. We don't know where you've been. You know what I mean when I said what I said?
Right.
You know, we don't know where you've been at, and you ain't coming back up in here. Thank you. All right, Rika. Well, listen, we got to move it on. All right, Rika, because you and I could tell we could talk all day and all night because you tapped in. All right. But ladies and gentlemen, show Rika some love. Let's give her a huge round of applause. Thank you so much, Rika. All right, I got to give you a follow. I got to give you a follow. All right, that's real.
Okay.
All righty then. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my gosh. All right, what an amazing person Rika is, ladies and gentlemen. You just run across all kinds of beautiful and amazing people, and that's why doing shows like this is very important. Thank you, Rika. I mean, if you're confused now about who Donald Trump is, shame on you. Seriously. Do we have any brave Trump supporters out there that are brave enough to get in the box? And, honestly, any Trump supporters want to come up here and tell the truth and get it off your chest? What we're doing is we're allowing you, this is a safe space only for now, if you want to come up here and confess your sins. All right? Put a 1 in the chat if you want to come up here and confess your sins. All right. And what we'll do is we'll help you get on out of that cult. All right. I'll put the gloves on. But if you get up here and you start doing that, and you know what the demon does, it's going to be your worst experience. I promise you, because guess what? We have no reason to play around with you all. Look at what you've done to this great country. And I see some people are upset in my audience, especially MAGA. Well, maybe you didn't hear my PSA announcement at the top of the show.
If you're not happy here, then you can leave. As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country,
Kabira!
If you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy in the U.S.,
that scared me. Did you see me jump like
all
that?
the time. Very simply, you can leave. You can leave right now. Come back if you want. Don't come back. It's okay too. But if you're not happy, you can leave.
Thank you. That scared me, honestly. But W for Kabira in the chat. All right. Let's keep it going, ladies and gentlemen. All right, who do we got in the box next? Oh, JTA Creations. Hey, welcome, champ. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is JTA Creations.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing? How are you doing, champ?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just figured to come on here and say what's up, and I heard you mention my name because we are going to take down the Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom.
Could you elaborate how we're going to take down Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom and Snuggie, if you don't mind? Because, ladies and gentlemen, this is some incredible stuff that the kingdom has going on. I didn't know it, but when you're blessed, you're blessed. All right, WJTA, please explain.
Well, simply, we're going to exorcise the demons, and you're going to show them body slams, and hopefully it'll take the MAGA demon out of them. Who knows?
Yes.
But they clearly are too neck deep and beyond possessed.
Yes. And so I'll break it down. He's making these series. It's a series, right? And you got to follow him. You have me, Big Zeus, and there's a lot of you out there. You may not know it, but you're created. And what we're going to do is we're going to totally annihilate every single MAGA demon on this app, and it's going to be an incredible series. Thank you, JTA Creations.
No worries. But other than that, thank you for doing what you do. I've told you that on Twitter.
Yes.
And hopefully we can, clear these guys from the tariffs.
Yes.
Donald Trump clown, because he's just he's a moron. But
thank you, and I appreciate that. And you do such a great job supporting what we do, and it's like I don't know how to thank you, but other than to say thank you, and we're gonna have to keep the fight going and expose these people for what they are. These people are a bunch of losers. They don't care about themselves.
Yeah, clearly. So for anybody, yes, I have. Well, my phone fell.
Yeah.
But for anybody who has obviously this app, you can see what my username is, and I have a YouTube channel, same thing. But I guess elaborate more with the game is WWE 2K25. I have Zeus, I have Ange, I'm gonna probably make Lex, Tiny Tank Top Tim, Sluggy, Trump, of course, but we call him Agent Orange.
Yeah.
Alania Musk, Marjorie Clan Mom. So there might be other people there along with other characters that I make.
Yeah, and we're gonna get him out there, and we're gonna keep him on the ropes. Get Shay, yeah, you got to get Shay too. You got to get straight facts. You got to get attacking. You got to get all of them right. And what we're gonna do is tag team. And I don't even want to see Snuggie get up off the mat. Just leave him on the mat. Let us do a little number on him, and then take turns, and then we'll throw him out of the ring, and and then just get him out of there. Make it so that we could actually send him out of the parking lot. WJTA, this is incredible stuff. And the Bears too. We're gonna get the Bears. But all right, brother, I appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, WJTA. No lies detected. Oh yeah, they say that this is a show and we spread hatred, but we don't spread hatred here. We spread nothing but love. Oh, look at this. The beautiful Mishi. Welcome, Mishi. How are you doing?
I'm really good. How are you?
Well, I'm in a good mood in terms of the fact that, we're bringing it to MAGA and they don't want to come up here and talk to us anymore. You know what I mean? And I think it's because they're having a hard time, right?
Good.
Are you there? I think maybe a delay.
Yeah. Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm totally good.
Yes. You're good now. The bars are gone too.
Okay, I'm not gonna. Okay, good. I'm not gonna move. I have a question for them. Why do they still believe him? He promised not to cut Medicaid. They cut Medicaid. He promised to drill, baby, drill, and they're going to drill less. He promised to bring down the cost of goods on the first day. They're going up. Okay, he promised to end the war. It's not ending. Putin's like, boom, 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 boom. Like, why do they still believe this guy when he lied to them and he's not doing any of that?
Yeah. I mean, and let's get to the bottom of this. Any Trump supporters out there, please, if you don't mind, let's go ahead and send us a guest request. Misha, you have a little bit of energy in you to go ahead and help them see the light. It won't take long, like a minute or two.
Sure.
All right. And
are they coming in?
Oh, I'm looking for them. I see some. I'm looking for them.
Yeah, and he just pardoned a sheriff who was brought up on bribery charges, federal bribery charges, was sentenced to 10 years in prison from a jury, and they had undercover FBI agents, they had other people who pled guilty, and yet he's pardoning a fraudster because
Yeah, and they know that this is unacceptable. And it looks like we have a demon to confront.
Hey, I got to say, thanks to GTA, any publicity is good publicity. So
yeah, but I don't need you to actually say that. Did you hear what Mishi said?
Oh,
why do you still believe
not really.
him?
I wasn't listening. Who said I believed him in the first place? Who said I believed him in the first place?
Well, don't you usually vote for people that are honest, that you believe
no, I just
they're going to
voted
get?
because he was. I voted for him because he's not a Democrat. The worst Republican is still better, 1,000% better than the best Democrat.
Explain.
Because Republicans want you to be self-reliant on yourself to get what you need. Democrats want you to rely on the government.
So what are you doing right now?
I had to put something away. So.
Okay, because there's a lot of noise, and I'm going to debunk that lie right there. So say that again. Republicans want you to be self-reliant. Well, yes. Why is Donald Trump not doing that? Why does he need a gift? Why does he need a $400 million jet?
He doesn't need it.
Well, why do the billionaires need tax cuts if they're so self-reliant?
Blame the government for that. Don't blame the billionaires. Blame the government for that because they're the ones that put those tax codes in there.
So Donald Trump has actually given them a tax break, a tax cut. Why do they need help from the government?
Why does anybody need help from the government?
No, Tom. Tiny Take Top Tim, stop.
Because it can be answered that way.
If you have a choice between helping an impoverished person and a billionaire, where do you think we should be putting funds?
Use your moral compass.
Into ways to lift people up, not keep them on the system.
No, lift people up so they can get off the system.
No, right, but we're not doing that. Our money is going into systems that keep them on the system.
How so?
Yeah, this is deep demonic forces at work. Tom, so you believe we're paying people to take advantage of the system.
No, I'm not saying you're paying people to take advantage of the system. People know that they can take advantage of the system, so they do. So the only way to
Do you
stop
think
that
that's
is to
you
stop
think
the
the
system.
majority? You think the majority of people who are on SNAP benefits and Medicaid and Medicare are corrupt? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, that's not what I'm saying at all.
Then
I'm
you
saying
have no,
that
and then you
if
have
they
no
wanted
argument.
if they wanted to, they could do things to make their system better without needing the government to do it.
No,
Yes.
that's not how.
Yes.
That's no. How do you expect someone who is a single mom of 4 kids to work a job, pay for daycare? How do you expect that to happen?
Think about it.
They have a dad, right?
Think about it,
No,
Tom.
no, they don't have a dad. The dad's a deadbeat dad. The
Yeah.
dad's in prison. I don't know. I don't know what happened to the
Yeah.
dad.
There's a lot of things that happen out here where the nuclear family isn't so nuclear. So Tiny Tank Top Tim, what should happen to these mothers that are in need and with the children? Aren't you a person that believes? Hey, what's all that noise? I need the demon.
I don't have any noise.
I need the demon to settle down back there.
Well, if the Republicans truly believe that, then Republican people on those programs should just quit them.
Yeah.
What?
If Republicans are better because they believe on self-reliance, then any Republican on those benefits should quit them.
Yes.
But they're on them. But they're on the programs, though.
Anybody on those systems, and they're on the system because, and I'm not talking about people with medical issues or.
Yes, you honestly you are.
No, hold on. No, I'm not. I'm not because
you don't think you are, but you are.
See, Zeus, you're really, really good at twisting what people say. Listen to what I say, not what you think you hear. Okay. I know you. I know it's hard for you, but go ahead and try. Okay.
He's projecting.
I am not talking about people with medical and physical conditions that make it to where it's impossible for them to work. If you can work, you have the ability to get yourself off the system.
So Mike Johnson this weekend said there's 4.2 million people that are on Medicaid that are able-bodied people that they're looking to get off. Do you honestly believe 4.2 million people are just collecting Medicaid checks that could actually work? You think that's happening? Because that's the number.
Okay, and I can say that 51% of the people are lazy. Does it mean it's true? No.
Exactly. So let's get back to what you're saying. According to you, these people should be able to go out and get jobs. But realistically, you're also acknowledging it's not possible.
Okay, because it falls back to the physically and mentally.
Hey, Tiny Tim, how do you feel about universal health care? Don't you think that's a basic human right that all of us should have?
No, healthcare is not a right.
Why are we okay, so you are just a really mean person. You don't think that do you think 600,000 Americans going bankrupt every year over health care is appropriate?
No, but I mean, hey.
So you get a cancer diagnosis, you get into a car accident.
Tom, Tiny Tank Top, let her finish.
Listen, so you get into a car accident, you get a cancer diagnosis, you're like, F them, they should be able to figure it out.
Yep. I don't have insurance. I pay everything with cash. If I can't afford it, then hey, then let me die.
Every time. Thank you, Mishi.
Wow. Then you die.
Exactly.
Then you die.
Yes.
Okay. So you're okay with us as human beings letting children starve in South Africa? Like you're fine with those kids just starving to death?
Why is it my responsibility to feed children in other countries?
Because why are we here? Are you a man of God? Are you a man of faith?
I was baptized Catholic. I don't go to church or anything, but I believe in religion.
Okay? So do you think if the whole world goes kaboom tomorrow, why the F are we here, buddy? Why are we here other than to take care of one another, to make sure that children do not go starving anywhere in this world, that people don't go bankrupt because they had a bad cancer diagnosis?
Thank you. W. Mishi.
Who are you?
W. Mishi.
I have to pay for this.
Okay, Tom. Let's Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom.
No. Okay, if you have a right to tell me I need to care about other people, who are you to tell me that I have to take care of?
Aren't you supposed to love your neighbor?
But he's okay with giving. He's okay with paying trillions of dollars to give the wealthiest people a tax cut. You don't have any problem with that. Your money is going to give tax breaks to billionaires and corporations, and I don't hear you complaining about that.
W.
Just
Mishi.
the poor, impoverished people. Just the poor, impoverished people. It is a fundamental human rights difference between caring for each other and caring for the billionaire class. Which one do you care for?
I don't really care for any of them.
And somebody says you sound like you have a lot of money, Tiny Tink
No,
Tup
I
Tim.
don't.
So this, you see what's happening here, Mishi?
I do.
Yeah, this is a mindset that Tiny Tank Top Tim has, and what's going on, bro? And I don't even want to say bro. Demon's more appropriate. You are a miserable person, and you believe everybody else should be miserable, like you.
I'm actually very happy.
No. How many people in the audience think Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom is a miserable person? Let's go ahead and get straight to it.
Zeus. They're going to agree with you.
I didn't ask you.
No, you're miserable. You're miserable. You're miserable when you're okay with other people being miserable because for some reason that makes you feel less miserable. So if other people are suffering, then it for some reason it brings you some sort of joy.
Tiny Tank Top Tim, listen, when Mishi is talking, and I need to hear what she is saying because it's most likely something that's going to help me do my job better. All right? Let the truth flow.
He just said, I don't care if other people suffer. So you're totally okay then. No FEMA. No FEMA. If a tornado comes, takes down your house, F those people, right? Because federal government shouldn't be helping anybody. Right?
Even the dogs know it. W to the dogs in the background. W Mishi, you cooked them. The dogs even are saying, listen to what she's saying.
I love how you can twist things, Zeus. That's just
no. We're telling the truth up here.
That's government assistance. You said everyone.
No, I'm talking about the dogs.
Oh no! If they get a cancer diagnosis, F them. If they get in a tornado and it ruins their house, F them. Everyone's got to figure it out. The government shouldn't give them a penny.
You know how you keep your house from being blown over?
Why do you have a hard time? Listen, do you have a hard time listening when Mishi is telling the truth? I mean, I get it. The bell's being rang, and then you can't get focused.
I've listened to your show enough. You interrupt everybody. You don't want to hear what they have to
say. Say it again.
You interrupt people all the time, Zeus. So so do your guests.
You're representing MAGA so well, and showing that you actually have no heart, no compassion, no humanity, no care for anybody but yourself.
MAGA is a slogan only. That's it.
And all that. In addition to that, you understand that all the things that Donald Trump is implementing, it doesn't matter if you voted for Trump or you voted for Kamala Harris or you didn't vote at all. We are all equally going to be impacted by these. We are going to go into a recession.
Can you zip it?
No, I said so be it.
Okay, so you don't care about the families. How about the families that are going to losing their jobs?
So be it.
So be it. So who cares about them people? Is that what you're saying? You don't care about the nuclear family that he loses his job, and then we're not going to give them any Medicaid and Medicare because they're making too much at $30,000 a year. And by the way, Donald Trump's tax cuts hurt the most impoverished while raising up the billionaire class.
Temporarily, yes, but it shouldn't be something they live off of.
10 years. You're okay with the billionaires getting breaks. $3.8 trillion added to our debt that we're going to have to pay off.
Am I okay with it? No, I'm not okay with it. I don't think anybody should get tax breaks.
I
don't understand him.
I've never been so disappointed.
I don't care if you're disappointed in me.
In a liar and a grifter.
And your opinion of me means nothing.
Okay, well then, what we'll do is we'll try to stretch this out.
Oh, hey, we have talked a lot of shit, Isha and Shay, the person who thinks.
Thanks for the meeting.
Girl, I'm not even finna entertain.
Shay, who knows nothing about everything.
I'm not even finna entertain this dumb ass man. Excuse me for cussing, Zeus, but I'm not finna entertain a man who get in the box and pretend nothing bothers him. And time you say something about him, he get all in his feelings. All this talk he talking, Zeus, is just something made up to make him look good. Ain't nobody studying that plaid shirt, old file cabinet working in office food that you got on this live.
He ran. Y'all made him run. Y'all made him run. He never dropped.
Zeus.
Yeah.
Let me explain something to you about Tiny Testicle Tim.
Tiny Testicle Tim.
Let me tell you something about Tim. And you listen good. All that stuff he be talking, he just be lying. Because if he was the type of person that really didn't care like he try to fake he don't care. It wouldn't matter what we said to him. It wouldn't hurt his feelings or nothing. He is a liar. He's making up his persona, and ain't nobody studying him. He ain't got 15 cents in the bank. His wife don't want him. His house look like he live on Little House on the Prairie, and he hurt like everybody else.
Well, I mean, on top of that, Takesha, he works at his job is dependent on the government.
Yeah.
Exactly.
He runs a HUD facility. If it wasn't for the government taking care of these people, Takesha, he wouldn't be making his 30 grand a year.
Girl, he probably don't make but 25.
Well, he shared
cut off the top,
he shared that his combined income with his wife, I think that works, is $52,000 a year. His combined income.
Well, when you milk a cow and set it outside the grocery store, you ain't gonna make too much. You put on a Molly Maid suit and go down there with the milking from the cow, and he go to the little office, and they probably don't make but $35,000 combined.
I tried to tell him not to come up here. Y'all getting on him, man. Y'all don't want to leave a little. Y'all don't feel bad about getting on him like this.
He shouldn't have said nothing about me.
No,
when you brought me up, he should have said nothing about me. I'd have told him to keep my name out of his mouth.
No, he's an ugly human being. We don't need to be fair to him.
And I mean physically ugly as well.
Ooh, there you go. I mean, it's when you're telling the truth, you're telling the truth. Takesha W. Shea.
If it wasn't for the Democrats, he wouldn't have his job. But he wants to keep saying that he can't vote for a Democrat.
Yeah. So we're at a crossroad right now. I do believe that there is an issue they are aware of, right? It seems like Tiny Tank Top, Tim Tom, Takesha, you added the word testicle in there. That's crazy. They're suffering now. Any words of a hope for these people that are suffering? Anyone want to speak on that? Because these people are suffering. I've asked them to come up here. They don't want to come up here. Their best mascot is Tiny Tank Top Tim Tom, and he just ran.
I got a word, Zeus.
Yes.
And it's the words of the late Bernie Mac. F them. F them up against the wall with super glue on lips. Because they're not worth the time and effort. Tiny Tank Top Tim, you don't even know what username you want to use. You go back to Majesty, you use Tiny Tank Top Tim, which we actually named you Toby. Your best bet is to try to get to Walmart as soon as possible and get as many t-shirts that you can afford before the end of the week, because their prices is about to go up.
Wow. What a WQ dog. All right. And see, this is why it's important, ladies and gentlemen. We have a president right now that's attacking Harvard. All right. And he's not settling these conflicts in Ukraine. Our economy, I'm looking at the charts and they're saying none of it's actually signs that we're heading in the right direction. What will it take at this point? Did I hear a cat?
Yeah, it's behind me.
Oh, I was like, wow. W likes, all right. I mean, the cat threw me off a little bit. I was thinking I was hearing something. So they're at a crossroad right now. What will it take, honestly, for these folks to actually start to say, you know what, we've made a terrible mistake? Because as you can see, they still have a little bit of pride left in them.
Zeus, I don't understand how anybody can take Donald Trump serious with that Memorial Day post that he made. Now we around here mourning the loss of lives of people that gave their lives for this country, and you gonna get up and make that doggone post with so much hate in it that had nothing to do with Memorial Day. This man is demented and hateful.
Yeah.
And the people that follow him are going to follow him right into the deepest parts of hell if they don't jump off the ship right now.
You hear
but
that,
if they follow him, Zeus, that's on them, and I'm not going to feel sorry for them.
Fair enough.
They got a chance to get off the ship while it's docked, but when they get to sailing, that's on them.
There you go. W. Takesha.
Well, I was gonna say this. Tiny Tank Top Tank Tim Toodles or whatever his name is.
Yes.
He Golden Corral starts serving buffet in 15 minutes, so he had to go.
Oh, okay. I can live with that. Seriously.
You got to get his
But you know,
$9.99 steak.
for for him to say, damn it, Shay. Okay, so for him to say people shouldn't have insurances, it's crazy. Because I see people lose everything they own, including their lives,
Yeah.
because they don't have insurance. And he said that if he pays out of pocket, so if something happens to him, he doesn't think that he deserves treatment. He should just be left to be unalive, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, I personally, I don't understand why you platform him.
Because it's my show. Zeus does what he wants to do. That's why.
I know you do.
People say I shouldn't platform you, and I say, you know what? I got a show to do. I don't know all you off app. Some of you I do, but when I run what I run, I just hope that you all understand we're doing what we got to do.
Well, see, what I'm saying is I'm not picking on you for that, but the things that he says, I don't know, man.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I don't know what his brain is doing. I mean, I can't figure it out.
To be honest, though, it's not a unique thing, and that's why I go and talk to these people in their red spaces, because I'm doing my own soul searching in a way, and I go, believe it or not, it's popular in their circles.
Okay, so really quickly.
And Tiny Tesco Tim is faking his whole persona. Trust me. He's not like that. He's just faking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I'll say it like this. You know, with every superhero, there's a villain. And multiple villains. You got Batman, you got Superman, you got Flash, you got they all had villains. And see, Tiny Tank Top Tim, if y'all remember the very first movie of Superman.
Yeah.
Christopher Reeves. Remember Lex Luthor's sidekick? Hey, Mr. Luthor. That's Tiny Tank Top Tim. I got your cookies, Mr. Luthor.
Yes.
Yeah, that's his character. He comes up here every day begging to get in the box. Just like he begged, like that character begged to be around Lex Luthor to be relevant.
Yeah.
If we did not do that, he would be lonely in that dungeon every day, working on with a little candle as his light, because they don't care about him. If they did, they would revamp his office.
Mm-hmm.
Put him in a better office. So, yeah, let's keep him around, because that makes us look that much better. And I say it time and time again.
Okay, so real quick, I was going to say
that's the best you have.
Yeah.
You have not come with top notch yet. If Tiny Tank Top Tim is the best you have, keep bringing them. And
it's not just him. And that's why I said they come here because there's kibble being left out. They're not eating where they're at. They're starving. And we've left out the kibble bowls, and you wake up every morning and you're going, well, who's eating it? And you put it on your security cameras, and you see these MAGA creatures sneaking in, and then they'll go back into the wild, but then they're like, okay, it's over. And so this is what's happening. He knows that it's over. The only place that he can get sustenance and anything like that is to come and listen. And it's just the most mind-blowing thing. These people, he's the first one in here looking for, not me, he's looking for Shay, Mishi, Takesha, Cute. He's looking for, he's not looking for me because he knows where to find me, W. Zeus. He's looking for you, Lex. He's not looking for me.
You know something, I figured that he would be tired of getting cooked over and over again, because you cook him every day. I mean, what's left to cook?
Some people, Dr. Lex, they just glutton for punishment. They just keep coming back like, give me more. It might be an aphrodisiac for him. Because his wife probably don't touch him.
No, hey, listen. They've been fed a steady diet of hate, fear, and anger for 10 years. Yeah. They've been fed a steady diet of it for 10 years. And that's why they're still not happy. And they live in the misery. And they love posts like Trump puts out that calls people scum and all that. Yeah. They live for it. It is part of their diet now. And that's not going to go away. It's not going to go away. That's why they'll continue to be angry and mad, and it doesn't matter. They won. There's no celebration. There's nothing to celebrate.
They also believe this.
I am the law and order candidate. Donald Trump's not a...
He's the law and order candidate. And as Zeus, the first thing you showed was Trump giving a pardon to a corrupt police officer, chief of police.
Yeah.
Yep.
Who was found guilty and sentenced to 10 years and for bribery. You're not a law and order candidate, and you Trump supporters are not law and order patriots. You don't care about our veterans. You care about what Donald Trump says when he blows up your rear end. Boats, batteries, and sharks.
Yes.
Trophy wives, yachts.
What the hell was that speech about?
And then attack. Why the hell is he attacking Harvard? Why is he attacking Harvard?
Because they wouldn't let his son in.
Yeah.
Oh, Obama went there. Michelle Obama went there.
Obama went.
No, Obama went to Howard.
Because you know what?
We can. What your connection? We can't hear you, Mishi.
I'm on the streets of Kansas.
Okay, here.
Four of the Supreme Court judges went to Harvard.
Well, you know, anything that is rejected, that rejects him or his family, exactly, he's going to attack right back.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly.
But you have Ketanji Brown Jackson. You have the white-haired gentleman. What's his name? Gorsuch. Yeah, and you've got Roberts. And I forget one of the other two. But yeah.
Now he has the nerve to attack Putin. He's really digging his own ditch.
Yeah, but I really want to.
Everybody's just waiting for him to fall into it.
Hey, Val.
Hey, what's up?
Where have you been, man? I've been checking your attendance. Oh, okay. So, W in the chat for Val, because I've been checking your attendance lately, and they've been saying
it's been poor.
Yeah. And you know, you got to take care of yourself, so I get it. All right. I'm glad you're okay, though, bro. Seriously.
Yes, I am good. But I wanted to talk about the Harvard thing for just a second, because there's been the development there has been amazing, and what Harvard is doing, we need to take advantage of that. Okay, these classes that they talked about are online now. You can actually go take these courses now online. They're there.
Wow.
Okay.
Yes.
So I'd suggest everybody look it up. Harvard civics courses for free.
Wow. So why do you think he's going after Harvard so aggressively?
I don't know, but Harvard's response to this is one of the best things I've ever seen in this country. They are putting out for free to teach people how civics works for free.
Wow. Well, I'm going to have to do that then. All right. So everyone, please go to Harvard and register. Where do you go when you go to their website to find these courses?
Go to their website. You can look up the courses for free and then register from their website.
Got it. Because we got to be educated in order to get some of those jobs that are coming back over, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, absolutely.
Somebody wrote F Harvard. Who wrote that? Billy Buckeye Nation. Why would you write that? Send us a guest request. We'll bring you right up and straighten you out.
Actually, get teacher with common sense up here. That's a good one. Teacher with common sense.
There's a chat. There's someone out there named Teacher with Common Sense.
Yeah.
Send me a guest request. Teaching.
Do you see that list I have there? With the Harvard being at the bottom, they have 28% of international students, while you have Illinois Tech and other ones that have more percentage of their students being international. So, I mean, they're at the bottom. Even USC only has 28%.
Can you hear me?
But,
wow. Yes, we can.
Go ahead.
Okay. What I was going to say, I have to go. I have an appointment here in 3 minutes. But what happened in Kansas with blatant anti-Semitism marching in the streets, okay? Why, if he's the anti-Semitism president, is he not holding those mayors accountable? Why isn't he holding the governors accountable who are allowing blatant anti-Semitism in the streets of America? He can't have it just for Harvard. He has to do it for every university, for every town in America, every city in America that allows for it.
Yeah. Good question. Once again, you caught him being a hypocrite.
Well, you know something, because of my civil
I got
rights
to excuse.
activism.
Thanks, Zeus. Bye,
All right, W. Mishi, ladies and gentlemen, give her a huge round of applause. That's what we do. Tell the truth and shame the devil. Teaching with common sense. Send me a guest request. Lex said, "Come on up here. I'll bring you up here." Sorry,
Okay.
Dr. Lex.
So because my civil rights activism in real time on the ground, whenever I'm at home, whenever I go to bed, I have to sleep with that pew 6 inches from my head on the nightstand because I'm directly involved with, as I said, we just recently caught the person who burned down the Highlander School Museum in Eastern Tennessee in 2019. They just caught him, and that's when that noose got thrown in my yard about 3 and 3. My batteries. But the thing is,
I was going to ask you about that, Dr. Lex. Have you gotten any updates on that situation?
Oh yeah, that's taken care of. That's taken care of because they did it to the wrong person. Because I've run with a group of people that directly engages with these fools. It's a rather dangerous, but you know what? I don't care. I've had fun because I'm taking these people down in real time. And something, Zeus. I'm going to say this, and I'll say no more about the situation. If I get in trouble for going after people on this app, I'm going after MAGA. That's all I see.
Yeah.
That's what I see. I'm not for everybody, but I'm going after MAGA and the protection of we as people and our democracy and black people.
There you go. That's all you got to do. That's what we do. And we tell the truth. I mean, when you tell the truth, it's very hard to be, always, liked, but I get it. And, I don't expect that from everybody. I don't expect to like everybody personally, right? But, I do believe we're all united in saving this great country of ours from Donald Trump. And that's what's very important. So thank you for that. Do we have any Trump supporters in the chat before? Let's see. Put a 1 in the chat if you're a Trump supporter and you're brave enough to get up here. And because we want to actually get more insight about why you're still sucking down that nasty, sweet but dangerous Kool-Aid. Yeah. And what we'll do is we'll help get that MAGA demon straight away and taken care of. All right. Put a 1 in the
when
chat.
When are you releasing your album?
1600 Pennsylvania Ave. It's still in the works, but trust me, it's coming. All right. And what we'll do is we're going to be saving the country with this album. Good question, W. Dr.
Yeah. He got that fire. He got that fire on that album, y'all.
1600 Pennsylvania Ave is on the way. All right. Let's see. Who do we have in the chat? John Wills. Who's this? Is this a Republican? Good morning. Fascist cult. Good morning, John Wills. How are you? John.
Mega Wi-Fi.
John has decided that maybe it's not a good idea to be up here. John going once, going twice. Okay, you're going. Well, actually, it shows he's not. Well, they're not in my box, but I still see him in the box.
I see him.
Yes. You see him?
Yeah, I see him.
Okay, I don't. I mean, I see him, but I don't see him. All right, put a 1 in the chat if you are a Trump supporter, and what we'll do is we'll bring you right on up. Please put a 1 in the chat. We don't got all morning to do this. You don't see him, but I see him in the box still.
MAGA, this is your golden opportunity to come up on the panel and talk to all of us.
Yeah.
Come on, don't get scared now. Let's go. We're waiting.
Okay.
I mean, he's giving them fewer and fewer excuses.
Q-Dog, if they're scared, you can just say they're scared.
Yeah.
If you're scared, say you're scared. Yeah, that's how they say it down. Say you're scared. Yeah, that's how they say it down.
They're scared.
Yeah. Let's see who this is.
I like Putin. I like Putin.
Off
I
the
don't
ego,
like Putin.
you can't even come up. So stop spamming the chat.
I mean, how do they make excuses for what he's doing in North Carolina? Oh, Rick,
you're coming up, Rick.
Complaining about Hawaii.
Wait a second. We have Rick coming up here. Wow, Rick.
Not coming up. Sorry.
Oh, no. We heard you for the first time. Wow.
Oh, God. That was a tappy now.
Rick.
You want me to let you back down?
Yes,
Is that what you're saying?
do.
Oh, okay,
Thanks,
okay,
Rick.
all right.
Take care, man.
All right, well, thank
Bye,
you.
Rick.
Wow, that's
We
an
love
opportunity
Rick.
of a
Rick's the
lifetime.
best.
Yeah, W. Rick. I've never heard him.
Well, you know something. Speaking of North Carolina, which I'm one county away from North Carolina.
Alter ego. Can you chime up? You got to get past 47 followers after 2 years.
I've seen. I live in the disaster zone, right? So while I'm at home, I get to see the disaster. I get to see the river. It changed the course of the river in some places.
Mm-hmm.
The houses, it swept all the houses on the river. It got swept downstream and knocked the bridges down. Okay, it filled up Asheville, North Carolina, like a bowl. All this stuff is still destroyed over there. He cut FEMA off. He came over and gave him a speech, and they're like, "Thank you, we elected you. You're my president. We brought you in." He cut FEMA right off.
Unfortunate, but this is what they voted for.
Yeah, these people are in a hell of a situation over here.
Red Dead, good morning. Red Dead, are you there? Can anyone hear Red Dead going once? Okay, we'll move it along then. Yeah, if you are a Trump supporter, send us a guest request, and what we'll do is we'll straighten you right out this morning. We don't got all morning to do this song and dance, ladies and gentlemen. Who do we got next? You know what? I saw Tinkerbell. Tinkerbell, you did say you wanted me to bring you up. Now you're not. I know Tinkerbell, you're not a Trump supporter, but how are you doing?
Oh, hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. How are you?
Oh, good. Long time no see.
Right?
Yeah.
I
wanted to come up here and tell you, when you get a chance, watch the Jim Jones documentary on YouTube. It's really good.
Oh, for the cults, so we can identify these people that are in a cult. All right, I will have to check it out.
Yeah, it's really good because it actually helped me seriously understand more about cults and stuff like that. But I wanted to tell you something kind of funny because, so in Jonestown, Jim Jones, he would have speakers throughout the whole compound. And what would happen is he would literally announce stuff on the daily, like whatever he was going to say, and the followers, they would eat it up. They believed every word he said. So it really reminds me of like when Trump goes on Lie Central and all that and tells all his bullshit. They believe every word.
I caught that.
Sorry.
Trying to get me in trouble.
No, my bad.
It's all good. I get it.
So that, and then when Jim Jones unalived, when they found everything afterwards, literally had $7 million in the different bank accounts, and he told his followers that they were broke and they were eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and he was over there having steak and lobster dinners.
Woo! That's like somebody asking for money and eating McDonald's and Diet Coke all day long, right? I mean, it's the same playbook with this guy.
Yeah. So it really reminds me of like how Trump is, he's over there eating steak dinners and they're sending him all their damn money and their SS. Jim Jones even took their SSI checks and all that.
Oh, wow. They don't need them.
Yeah, they don't need them. And he even told them they could have $5 for the month. That's it. And they freaking gave him all their money.
Wow. W. Tinkerbell. So for the Trump supporters out there, what she's asking you to do is take time out of your you're not really that busy, your loser lives, and actually go watch this video on YouTube. The name of the video, what is it again?
Well, it's basically just called like Jim Jones documentary.
Okay, watch that, and you're gonna notice there's a pattern in between what he's doing and what your dear leader is doing. Right? Someone said YouTube isn't factual. Tinkerbell. They said YouTube isn't factual.
No, of course they would say that. This documentary is from survivors of Jonestown. Back in the 70s, why would they lie? They had no reason to lie back then.
Thank you. So it's actually factual. All right. And whoever would say that is something's wrong with you up here. You shouldn't say stuff like that.
Right. And then like the only difference with Jim Jones and Trump is that Jim Jones in the beginning, when he first started off, He actually was an advocate for he was against racism and he fought for equality. So he started off good, but then obviously he went down a twisted, dark place in the end. But they found out in the end that he was on speed the whole time.
Oh, ain't that something?
Yes, and Jim Jones was super paranoid, and he would tell the people stuff like when they heard stuff coming into the compound, like the real news of the world or whatever.
Yeah.
He would tell them, "Oh, don't listen to that. That's fake news. Don't listen to that."
Like we're dealing with right now.
That's wild because during World War II, the Mustache Man fed his soldiers pervitin, which was the same thing. It was a Smith. He gave it to all his soldiers, and that's the reason they were whacked out of their minds.
Yeah.
The reason they fought the way they did. But you know something, speaking of Jim Jones, that shows you how somebody could appear to be an ally, become power crazy, and devolve down to a monster.
Right. Yeah, because
remember Donald Trump said he was a Democrat. I'll be quiet.
Right. Yeah, because of course Jim Jones, when he saw all the people starting to follow him, he got obsessed with the money and the power, of course.
And that's how it does. It always corrupts you. And so it's a good thing that we go ahead and recommend a good study. Honestly, it's your homework, MAGA. Please go and look at this video. Now, do we have any more Trump supporters out there? Because we're running low on that you-know-what time. And we might be able to get one more, hopefully, civilized discussion in. Right. Any Trump supporters, please send a guest request. All right, put a 1 in the chat, and what we'll do is we'll get you right on up here. You all really should be proud to be able to get up here. I am, but what? Someone said they're a Trump supporter, but they don't want to actually get up here and talk about their support.
Can I say one more thing real quick?
Yeah, you sure can.
Okay, so I'll tell you real fast. Yesterday, I went into this MAGA. No, it was a Democrat Live, but there was a MAGA guy, and he said his wife unalived from breast cancer, but then he was totally supporting everything Trump is doing, and I'm a breast cancer survivor.
Oh.
Anyway, he was like, "Oh, Trump should take away funding for research on breast cancer. I don't care."
Yeah, he said that.
Yes. And I'm like, how evil can you be? And he was bitter, I guess, because his wife unalived. But I told him, well, you're totally wrong. You should want to advocate for women, and you should care about everyone. And it's like, I mean, it's just so frustrating, you know?
Yeah.
And then, like, you know how, like, Tupac would always say, like, why, you know, that song, Keep Your Head Up, you know?
Yeah.
He says, like, why do we hate our women and all that stuff? And that song is so, like, accurate what's going on nowadays, you know?
Yeah, a lot of these people, I don't even want to call them men. I call them creatures of the dark. They hate women. And you have to ask, well, why do you hate women? Because they go around TikTok. What is a woman? What is a woman? A woman is obviously someone you'll never ever touch. W. Zeus, you'll never touch one.
I love that response.
Yeah.
Such a stupid question.
Yeah, because if you have to, he was a genius. But honestly, if you have to walk around as a full grown adult, running around asking what a woman is. I'm convinced you've never seen one, and it's the hardest thing to describe to you at this point. I can't. Just stick to doing what you're doing, loser.
They probably still believe what their mama told them because they didn't want to discuss the birds and the bees with their child, so they said you were hatched. So I think they think they were hatched.
And you know what? When people think
in biology,
and Shay, if they think that they are hatched, think about where they're mentally at. You really look at eggs different.
Yeah.
They see eggs as like it's home when they see an egg and they go, oh, don't crack that. I get anxiety when you crack those eggs, right? I mean, these people, I've never heard anything like this.
Yeah, and then I'll tell you real quick, when I was growing up, I was a big fan of Michael Jackson, and I loved all his music, of course, and Heal the World and Man in the Mirror and all that. And I really honestly learned how to be a true humanitarian from Michael's music.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, I love Mike.
I agree. I love
I'm going to do a video about it. And, you know, Michael had his issues and he wasn't perfect. But I'm telling you, back in those days, look how good things were. And everyone was like, heal the world. And I mean, I just think I really... Yeah. We are the world. Yeah. I mean, I think I really learned a lot from Michael's music.
Yeah. We all have, and that's why it's very important to listen to the message in songs like that, because it's we gotta practice being better.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I just get so frustrated when they're like, "Oh yeah, no, Michael Jackson, he would have been a Trump supporter and all this crap."
Oh, I know, it's such a lie.
I know.
He was friends with him before he was president, right? Like
I know.
everyone talked to Trump. He was a billionaire and he was an interesting character and
Right.
all that kind of stuff. But he never would have supported him as
No,
president.
not nowadays. Because see, he knew Trump before Trump even ran for president. He didn't see all this hatred come out. You know what I mean?
I do.
Yeah, because they were. I mean, they were friends. Apparently, Trump was at his trial and all that. But this was way before Trump even thought about being president.
User, good morning.
Really, it was only the one issue in the relationship.
User, are you there?
Suffered to end the marriage.
User's no longer here. Goodbye, user. All right. Well, yeah, we're trying to find people that honestly want to get up here and actually discuss why they are blindly supporting Donald J. Trump. So if you are a Trump supporter, please put a one in the chat and we'll bring you right on up here. V. Cisco, good morning. How are you doing?
And you know, one thing that they still have not made any comments on, Zeus, is this whole Golden Dome situation. You know, the leaders of North Korea, they put out there it reeks of very.
Cisco, you need to mute.
Cisco.
You got a loud TV.
Cisco.
Oh my gosh.
Well, Cisco, you just earned a trip right back down to the comment section, champ.
Can I say something to Q Dog real quick?
Sure thing.
Oh, you know what's so funny about that Golden Dome? It reminds me of that episode of The Simpsons. Remember when they had that dome over the city?
Mm-hmm.
And that's so funny. Like, Trump probably got the idea from The Simpsons.
He's getting a lot of it from The Simpsons. People thought I was joking when I was talking about the movie The Omen, when he became elected for president and whatnot. A lot of this stuff that's going on nowadays is from him reaching back in time to make it irrelevant as of today. A lot of it.
Right.
Right.
And
I mean, if you watch that movie, The Omen, that's like in real time right now.
Right. And I thought it was interesting because that documentary from the 70s with the people from Jonestown that survived, they literally said that Jim Jones said fake news way before Trump. I swear, it feels like he got that from Jim Jones.
He does that all the time. I mean, right down to Project Warp Speed. I don't know if anybody realizes this, but Project Warp Speed wasn't his idea. He actually stole it from Germany, and it was called Project Lightspeed.
Get out of here.
No.
He sure did.
Wow.
He just watches TV all day and comes up with all this random stuff. I mean, he copies everybody, you know?
And then we have to foot the bill and pay for it.
Right, and then,
nobody.
And then remember when he came up with that speech a while back when he copied the movie Clueless? Remember?
Oh yeah, about their graduation speech.
He did the whole thing from the movie. I'm like, what?
MAGA, can anybody come up here on the panel and tell us where that $180 billion is going to come from for that Golden Dome? I'm still waiting on the answer.
Well, they don't have any answers. That's the thing. Right now, we have a bunch of people in here, and none of them are brave enough to get in the box and tell the truth. So I think what we can successfully conclude, ladies and gentlemen, is that we've totally destroyed NAGA this morning. W to the panel. You've all done an outstanding job. We made Tiny Tank Top Tim run. And the truth is, we're not any closer to having peace in the world. Actually, it's getting a lot worse. I actually think the worst thing you could do is make Donald Trump, get him to be involved in any type of negotiation. Have you all seen any negotiations Trump was a part of that it actually turned out to actually be good?
Your Majesty wants to come back up. You put a one in the chat.
You know, I wanted to retract you on that right quick. I'm sorry to say. You know, Tiny Tank Top Tim ain't ran a day in his life.
That's funny.
Them dogs are running more than he is.
I mean, we've all heard him walk the dog. There's no running going on there.
He out of breath after 5 steps.
Nasty.
Y'all remember the whole discussion about the Biden crime family and the this and the that, and they're getting the money from this and that. But they're okay with the only president of the United States that's ever been handed a $400 million jet as a gift.
Mm.
Like, you guys would have lost your minds. That's the thing that I really want to get into a discussion about is this kind of stuff.
Right.
You know, what he did with North Carolina and how y'all cried about Hawaii. You know, like
and look how many
where's
millions
the hypocrisy, guys?
Remember the Super Bowl?
I didn't get to do this yesterday. This is my dad. I lost him in Vietnam.
Oh.
Prayers up to you, brother.
Yeah. So I was.
Thank him for his service.
Yeah, we were out at military cemetery yesterday for my father-in-law and visiting him.
Yeah.
With all the flags and everything, and you got nutcase in there yelling and screaming.
For all of the people who got to play football and not see their dad or father son things in school and a lot of sports, or my uncle taught me how to be a man because my dad wasn't there. For every one of the soldiers that leave and don't come home, or leave and come home broken, which it happens a lot, that people can go, a war can take somebody's life after the war. I hold you in high regard, because my mother raised 6 of us by herself, and our whole lives changed after this went on. But yeah, I was gonna say that I didn't mean to darken the mood, but
Yeah.
that's him 100% airborne.
Okay, you know what really gets under my skin? So I work at Home Depot, and there's a lot of MAGA running around. So I really hate when I see them, and they're obviously MAGA. They have the hat or the shirt or whatever, and then they're like, "Oh, can I get my military discount?" And I'm like feeling like, you don't even deserve the discount.
Yeah,
I mean,
they really don't.
They don't.
Because what they did on January 6th, as far as I'm concerned, it qualified them. Is there something in the Constitution, Val, or Nutty, anyone, that if you engage in an act of treason, you lose your citizenship, like what they did on January 6th, and like what Fred is doing in the chat? Fred, I see you, but you wouldn't come up here and say anything. I know that, so just zip it.
I don't know that there's anything about losing your citizenship.
There isn't.
I wish. Then we should put it in there, because if we could, in a perfect world, shouldn't these people who did what they did on January 6th, shouldn't they be subject to having their citizenship revoked?
Well, here's the thing. Okay, the people on January 6th and stuff like that, if you revoke somebody's citizenship, I mean, this sounds good to say, but here's the problem. Where do you send them to? Because their birthplace is the U.S., right? So when you have somebody that you're going to revoke their citizenship, it's because they have someplace else or another country they're actually from.
They should send them to Epstein's Island, and they can live over there.
Well, you do know, Val, that if the soldiers, the retired military that did that can be called back into service and court-martialed.
Right, they can be called back into service, court-martialed, but then they go to prison in the U.S.
Well, that'll work too.
But it's not a loss of your citizenship.
Alcatraz.
Yeah.
Fred has volunteered to be sent to Mars. Fred in my chat, he said he'd be willing. I don't know what Fred is, but they'd be willing to actually take that SpaceX rocket, but the one not the one that grabs the rocket back, but the one that sees the rocket and says,
the one that hasn't made it out of our own atmosphere without exploding.
Goodbye, Fred.
Hey, Zeus. Do you know what my mother calls SpaceX rockets? You know what my mother calls SpaceX rockets? She's 85 years old. She calls them $1 billion fireworks.
Bingo, WLX. Easy. I think Takesha
before Nutty talks.
Takesha was going to go.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say I wanted to say something after Nutty got his chance to talk.
Oh,
I wanted to say this before he started to talk. He was in my broadcast bragging that he was a Triple H, just so you know.
Oh,
you're starting something attacking.
I'm not going to throw Nutty under the bus right there. I want to correct that statement a little bit and say that it was attacking that called you that, was it not, Nutty?
It was, but you know what? It doesn't matter who it was that called me. It's the truth.
Okay, y'all, and you're arguing. I'm gonna start putting my shirtless pictures.
Hey, I'll clear this whole box. I will, because we can't have liars. thinking it's acceptable.
Y'all know Q Dog is the sexiest man.
Woo! Q. I'll be honest with you.
I think I'm gonna fall in line with Val. I'm just gonna be quiet.
Yeah, that might be the safest. And again, I genuinely try to be a nice person, but there are lines. There's big bright red lines that honestly they shouldn't ever be crossed in the kingdom. And I would appreciate it if you gentlemen would remain gentlemen. W Zeus. And Lex, I wouldn't even reach for that picture with the shirt off and stuff like that because honestly, nobody wants to see that. W Zeus. It's too early. It's too early.
Hey, I still got the picture of me riding the horse like the Old Spice guy too with no shirt on.
If I have to be honest, okay, let me take that back. Antifa, Nutty didn't do it. I looked both ways and checked behind me before to make sure that you weren't in my room, and I said Nutty was the most handsome to Triple H, and I'm the one who did it, so I'll take responsibility.
Well, attacking to your credit, sir, you did tell the truth.
Now attacking?
Yes.
There has to be a penalty for lying. What you did was you looked Nutty in his eyes, and I get it. Sometimes men do this, but you really shouldn't do it to Nutty. And you lied. And now you have Nutty running around here like he's something he's not.
Well, in all reality, Nutty
I got this picture of Stephen Miller.
Nutty is Triple H in his age category, as are you.
Attacking. I don't want to drop you. I don't want to
clean it up.
The spin that just happened there.
Right. That was quite the spin.
Wait. What did I just witness?
Wasn't it? Hey, Zeus, I got this picture of Stephen Miller here.
That's him right there, Mr. Burns.
But
yeah,
Mr. Zeus, I would like to defer my 20 seconds to Miss Takesha so she can, because I know
smart choice.
I would love to hear what she
because you've already said enough.
But I haven't said anything at all.
But you've already said enough, so I think that's the right call because I'm already at that point, right? I'm already on the edge.
Well, you live on the edge, my brother. Go ahead, Takesha.
First of all, thank you, Nutty, for relinquishing your time.
Yes.
And the first thing, let me go and say this right quick before I get into what I got to say. They said that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And Nutty, you're beholding all your beauty. Okay?
I'm reclaiming my
I'm just saying, Nutty.
Thank you.
I'm just saying,
Nutty.
You're beholding it, Nutty.
Nutty,
yourself.
please.
I'm reclaiming my time.
Nutty, I don't want to have to mute. I don't want to have to start muting Nutty, but he's getting out of control.
I'm just saying, Nutty, you are beholding all your beauty, okay? You're not Triple H. You're not Double H. You're not even
Let me go ahead and bless
single
Takesha.
H.
I got to
Nutty.
bless Takesha. Let's go ahead and do
Oh,
that.
Takesha,
Keep going, Takesha. Just keep on doing what you're doing. God's working with you. Go ahead.
I'm about to block her from
Zeus,
live.
wait a minute, Zeus. Zeus is crazy. Zeus said God is working with me. Zeus, cut it out.
He sure is, but I appreciate it because I
While
just
you guys are talking, here's Tim Scott.
Oh my goodness, knock it off. We got some serious issues. Yes.
What I wanted to say, while Lex putting up his cartoon show,
Mm-hmm.
Fred in the comments said that January 6th was mostly peaceful. And I want to address Fred. Anytime you can sit up and watch something live on TV, and then the clone of Mike Brady can show you a few clips and you change your whole mind, that makes you a simp. That means that you believe Tucker Carlson over your own eyes. And it's embarrassing that you would let anybody trick you into being a nutcase for yourself. And you all are embarrassing. We sat on our couches and we watched this thing live.
Yeah.
Tucker Carlson come out with 3 videos from the beginning, from the inside, not the out when they were trying to break in. And you people have let this man be your eyes instead of your own eyes. Y'all are ridiculous.
W, Takesha. Hey, Fred. Just stop, Fred. You don't know what you're doing. You're humiliating yourself. You're embarrassing your family and your community on TikTok. Thank you, Takesha.
No, Takesha, she is like I don't know, man.
Takesha's the
No,
best.
And
She's a
no.
lot.
crazy how like they see video evidence of January 6th and they see all these videos of Trump saying whatever, but then they deny everything. It's like, what?
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
understand that. It's crazy.
well, you know what it is, Tinkerbell, and Shay. They just like Tiny Tank Top Tim. They say anything just to be heard.
Right.
I wish I could call any man in a room by themselves. Just say stuff like anything.
Yeah.
Like they got Tourette's or something.
And
That's the whole mind.
well, it's because they're in the cult. And you know what's crazy about Jonestown? I'll tell you real quick. When everything was going down and they were literally lined up to drink the Kool-Aid, some of them finally wised up and they were able to get out and they ran to the forest and the woods, and that's how they survived. They were like finally like they saw the light finally, and they were like, oh hell no, I want to live, and they ran out of there.
Did you see the guy that got away? That he just walked off.
Well,
He
some of
just
them
kinda
had to
walked
like
away?
sneak out of there. Like they had, and then the guards that were there, they were obviously working for Jim Jones. They had guns and stuff on the people. They were like forcing them to drink the Kool-Aid.
So if you all have never watched,
I gotta stop watching.
You gotta watch it. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Jonestown, I would absolutely sit down and watch Jonestown. It's an entertaining movie, but I hate to use the word entertaining when
Well, it's history.
based on a true story. So I just hate to use the word entertaining.
Yeah.
But it's very entertaining and it's historical. And you gotta remember those who what's the saying? Those who deny history
It repeats.
they're the ones that's going to repeat it. So
Right.
we're living, and the fact that we're talking about Jonestown in 2025, and the parallel between MAGA and the people of Jonestown, that should frighten all of you, MAGAs.
Right.
That should
And-
frighten you.
Yeah.
You do know they have these supremacist organizations have been starting these compounds, and they've got one down below me about an hour and a half away that's 112 acres or something like that, and they're training militarily. It's a lot of weird. I mean, I'm in Eastern Tennessee. There's a lot of weird stuff going on here that I don't particularly find comfortable. I mean, sorry, I'm not there right now, but I don't find it comfortable to
Right.
see these people militarizing themselves and acting lawlessly and being protected by the law that's in office now. We're in trouble. It's a lot.
Right.
Going to be a lot.
And it just totally reminded me of like how Trump always gets them to give all their money, and they're willing to give him all this money, and then he's over there at Mar-a-Lago or at the White House having steak and lobster. And that's exactly what Jim Jones did. He was taking all their money, and then they were having peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
Well, I say it time and time again with January 6th. What if all those people were all black and brown? And that was Obama made those statements that Trump made. Would y'all still have that same energy? MAGA?
No, they wouldn't.
Would you
It's-
have that same?
And what
You
I've
could-
learned
you
too
could
is
put
like
it in
the cult.
chat or come up here. Would you have that same energy?
They
If
just
they-
think
this
they
is
just
black
think
and
that
brown.
Trump can do no wrong. They're so hypnotized. They're in a cult.
Well, you know what they're going to do? Eventually, they're going to have to get out of this cult. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? We reached that pinnacle time in the show, and Big Zeus honestly has to get up out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give the panelists a huge, huge round of applause. All right, we wouldn't have been able to do this. You all are amazing. You know, it's awesome what we do. Yes. Last words, ladies and gentlemen, before we depart, and then we're out of here.
I just want to say, Zeus, thank you for all you do. I've been following you, I think, for the last 4 years. I truly love what you do. You're a true humanitarian, and you care about everyone, and you are just such a great guy.
Wow, Tinkerbell. Wow. Oh my God. You melted my heart. 4 years. That's wild, but
And
you're
I
right.
was willing to I was very depressed when Trump was first on the scene, and I was in a bad place. But you know what? You got me out of it. You got me out of a lot of depression.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank
When
you,
I watch you
Tinkerbell.
daily, you're just you brighten my day every day, and I have a much better day knowing that you're doing God's work.
Thank you. So Nutty, zip it. I knew Nutty was going to get out, but Nutty, that seals the deal as far as I'm concerned. This should never ever be something brought up in the kingdom. W. Tinkerbell. Shay.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, absolutely, Tinkerbell. It's good to be back. I've been on vacation myself. Went to NOLA for the weekend.
Oh.
But it's always great. But yeah, we'll just keep calling it out, and I love you guys, and we'll keep doing the good fight. I think they're definitely in the FAFO badly phase of everything. We just need to watch it. It's been interesting. I was listening to One Live. I'll end with this, and they're so upset that Pam Bondi, right, has not convicted anybody. Has not gone after. I mean, where's the lineup of the corrupt Democrats and the deep state? They're so upset.
What happened?
Oh my God, Jim Jones used to say that too. The deep state.
So you're saying she hasn't gotten the Epstein list and all that stuff dropped yet either?
Yeah. Oh, and well, Bongino said that he unalived himself.
Yeah. So no Christmas presents. All right, MAGA.
Wow. The great Pam Bondi that said that she got the leader of the of the gang, the MS-13s.
They're about to find out that they've been lied to.
Yeah.
About all
you know
the
what? I'm really hoping that
corrupt.
I'm really hoping that Trump doesn't pardon that Derek Chauvin guy that unalived George Floyd. I mean,
if he does, then Blaga and I will have very difficult conversations because that's just a slap in the face to Blaga, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, that would be sickening. I swear he better not do that.
Yeah, Takesha?
He wouldn't make it out to prison.
We're going down the line, Takesha.
I just want to say this, Zeus, and I'm gonna be done with it. We really don't have to go back and watch Jonestown because we actually watching Jonestown right now. And the reason I say that is because that's why he never stopped having rallies. The more you embed something into somebody's brain, the more you can control their mind. So he kept having rallies. If you notice, every rally he said the exact same thing. And that's how he got embedded into their brains. And that's why they don't believe anybody but Donald Trump. And that is really sad, Zeus. Right. So there is no help for MAGA. Period.
Bingo. W. Takesha. And yeah, Jim, you're right. It is a state case, so Trump can't pardon Derek Chauvin. That's a good point. W, Jim. Q-Dog. Glad you see, this is why we do shows like this, because we got to catch the facts and get it straight.
I'm going to leave you with this, MAGA. The FAFO era is still a broke. And you're going to find out piece by piece, day by day, little by little. See, it's starting to trickle down into the neighborhoods. Walmart, Target, all your little local grocery stores.
Yeah.
He's going to be taking your pennies bit by bit. And before you know it, see, my father used to had a saying, you watch your pennies, the dollars will take care of themselves. But if you have no pennies, what are you going to do? You're going to try to break open that bank and try to get some more. And he's going to keep taking them from you.
Well,
thank you, Q-Dog. Thank you, Q-Dog. Attacking, brother.
Hey, Q-Dog, I think you left something out in that comment about Pam Bondi arresting the MS-13 leader.
What'd I leave out of that?
They dropped the charges.
Oh.
Yeah, they did.
Oh.
They did.
So the great Pam Bondi
goes
again.
Wow. Yeah, so they arrested braggadociously the main leader, one of the three main leaders, and dropped the charges.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, on top of it, we're getting cartel members in. We're bringing in a whole family of cartel members. What's going on here?
How sad. What an embarrassment.
Seriously.
Let's go. Dr. Lex. Vegas girl, hold on. You said the Dems need a new message. Vegas girl, I don't think you gotta understand. It's really at a point now where people in this country need to stop looking for left and right, and they need to start understanding what's happening.
She's on the same message she was in my broadcast yesterday. Vegas girl, new message. Don't start the same one today.
Well, I just want to encourage anyone that you shouldn't even be looking at any party right now. You really need to be looking at the facts and making a decision for yourself as much as you can, because it's getting real nasty out here. So that's my thing for you, Vegas girl, because I get it. You're a nice person, and I'm not going to go any further. But honestly, the burden is on the public now to be able to decipher what's real from what's fake. I mean, you know what each side is doing, but at this point, I can't help but wonder, how are people reading the same information and going and saying, well, I feel like this is the right thing to do. And it's like, well, if you have the right information, you'll know who to vote for, W. Zeus. That's what I wanted to say. If you know what's happening, you're going to know what the right thing to do is. It's not, because, we don't have a leader like MAGA does. And I don't ever want to see someone walking around, I am the face of the Democrat Party, bow to me. I don't ever want to see that on this side, all right? But I do expect the American people at large to be educated enough to recognize a good candidate from a bad one.
I mean, seriously, Vegas girl, you hang out with a lot of people over there, and I don't understand what's going on, but that's your forte to do that. It's totally fine. But, do you think by us changing our message, that's going to change their minds to anything? The group you hang out with on a daily basis, you think anything we say or what we do would change their minds? Come on.
Nope. No, we did it for 4 years. Some people who don't really know, and some people who really don't know, they'll hear the messaging we got and they'll go, okay, and they'll go look into it themselves and figure it out. But those people, there is nothing, Joe, because remember, they got mad at Joe Biden for giving only $750 to the people of Hawaii. And then we have Donald Trump right now not giving a crying dime and not saying a thing, and they're swallowing it. So it's really beyond the messaging. This is personal. But Vegas girl, honestly, I love Vegas girl. She's trying, and I get it.
Wonderful. I don't have any, like I said, I like her.
But you got to stay at it. But you know what? I'll say this, Vegas girl.
What you're doing, though, baby girl.
Do not. This is the warning to you, Vegas girl. You can't be hanging out with these people that are talking that way for a long time, because if you listen to the album enough, it's like music. Eventually, it's going to start to stick to you, and you're not even going to realize it. So you gotta get out of those places. Yeah.
Yeah. I just want to say, remember when Trump said that he hates Taylor Swift?
Yeah.
So, okay, when that happened, I was on this live with my friend, and I came up and I said, hey, Trump shouldn't have said he hates anyone. That's not right. And she got so mad that she literally blocked me after that. And now we're not friends. And I'm like, wow, over. And she goes, I don't call you out on your videos. And I'm like, well, come on, Trump shouldn't go around saying he hates anybody.
Bingo. And that's the right thing. He shouldn't, especially when you're the most powerful person.
Taylor Swift isn't hot. That he's like, oh, she's not hot since I don't like her anymore. I mean, how immature can you be?
That's unfortunately who is running the right, and it's sad.
And he's probably jealous of her because she's got more money than him.
Bingo. So true. Lex, we got a couple minutes. Zeus has to get up out of here. Dr. Lex, what do you got?
Okay, so something, I'm not being serious this week. So if you voted for Trump in a red state, you're gonna eat possum soup. Another thing is really quickly, as I allow Val and Antifa, who thinks he's good looking, to send their messages, I want everybody to love themselves and each other. And I'm going to post this picture of Tiny Tank Top Tim, and you guys can carry on and have your conversation. And Tennessee, welcome to possum soup. I got a recipe for you. Got it from my neighbor. I don't eat possum, but you're going to be. You can find them flat, and they're in the middle of the highway.
There you go.
Picture of Tiny Tank Top Tim.
W. Lex, all right. What do you got, Val? We're moving along.
Okay. As a week of vacation goes by, and I'm back on my normal schedule. The things that strike me more than anything else. Oh my God! I knew he was going to do something that was going to make me laugh. I knew it was coming. But anyway, as we go through and as we spend time, I want everybody to remember something. Putting time to yourself is important. Spending time, you know what I'm saying? Spending time with your family and learning about and getting back to real life sometimes important. Don't let the app or politics control all your life if you can.
Amen.
But things that we need to learn, and this is my message to MAGA. It amazes everybody in this country how anybody can look at a president after having a meeting, a private meeting for Bitcoin and his own coin that makes him money. And you want to, in the billions of dollars that are being spent there that he is making because of this, in conjunction with being the president of the United States and the laws that are being broken there. If you can look at just that alone and say, you expect this man to help you? After cutting Medicaid, Medicare, passing this, what supposedly, I'm going to call it the big ugly bill. I'm not going to call it the big beautiful bill. It's the big ugly bill that is going to affect Americans for a decade and hurt everything that was built in this country from the 1940s to now.
Exactly.
If you can look at that and still make an excuse for this man, this administration, and the Republican Party, we're not friends. We're never going to be friends, and we're never going to come together. Hurting the American people for one man needs to stop.
Amen.
The fact that we hear from the president every day should be a problem. Think about that.
What's more important, America or one delusional old man?
Well, it's because he's controlling the message. That's why he does that, Val.
But Val, I want to say what you said about, you got to break away from everything sometimes. You're so right. Because yesterday we went to see the movie Stitch, and it was a really good movie, and it just felt really good to just turn off social media and just go see a movie.
There you go. There you go. That's what we got to do. Take care of ourselves. Thank you, Val. Nutty, go ahead and wrap this up, and please remain a gentleman if you don't mind.
So before I give my wrap up, so I appreciate everybody in the comments because I've been tapping throughout the whole live, trying to boost these numbers in here. It's not a good thing, chat. Zeus gets constantly 1.4, 1.5, 2K people in here, and we can't get this man more likes. So thank you for getting to the 350,000 that I asked for. Tomorrow, here's the ask for tomorrow. Tomorrow, the goal from the onset, meaning from when Zeus signs on,
1 million.
From the onset is going to be 500,000.
I'm
And
pushing
each
for a
day,
million. I'm
each
pushing for
day
a million.
we're going to increase. Well, Q, you gotta crawl before you can walk. So each day it's going to increase. So save your fingers tapping throughout the rest of the day because tomorrow the work begins. Tomorrow the ask is going to be 500,000. By the end of the week, we're going to be asking you for 1.5 million.
Yep. What is that?
I'm just letting you know now. So now on to my closing argument. I have a question. I think this is specifically for Takesha, Val, and Shay, and also you, Zeus, because I don't know if Q or Lex or Tinkerbell was around here then. Do you remember when a certain someone said to us that they didn't care about others who voted for anyone else other than Trump because their husband makes enough money and they voted for Trump because of their wallet, that they didn't care about anybody else? Does that sound?
Is that bear talk?
It's bear talk, but it didn't come from one of the proclaimed bears.
Oh.
So I'm not going to be nice. Time for being nice is over.
Yeah.
Vegas girl.
Oh.
You wonder why I've never given you a follow back. This is why. Because you are sus. You said you made those statements, and then all of a sudden the next day you were rah Democrats, rah Democrats. You're sus, ma'am. So I told you yesterday in Attacking's Live that just because we might not have the votes to remove someone from office doesn't mean we shouldn't go forward with the process of impeachment. Because if you break the law, you need to be held accountable to the law. And I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I will never apologize for coming in hot for a self-proclaimed mutual. The devil is a lie. I will call it every time I see it.
Say it, dude.
Now,
Say it.
W Nutty. I mean, sometimes he's right.
Because hey, Nutty, everybody got mad at me for going after somebody I thought was MAGA.
No,
Say it,
Lex. I
say
need
it,
you to
Nutty.
be quiet because I'm about to put you in your squirrel place. Because if you show that picture, sir, I'm cutting you off the internet. I'm cutting you off the internet. And for Takesha, who came after me, not only am I the beholder, I am he that is all beholden.
No.
It's like, Nutty,
Stop it, Nutty. Hi,
if
Vegas.
you have something to say it to me.
Hold on, Vegas. Hold on,
Yeah.
Vegas.
Zeus.
I'll let you say what
And
you got to
Zeus.
say. Yeah.
To you, sir.
Yeah.
Don't you ever try to take up all the H's when you don't even deserve one.
Hey, Nutty, didn't I ask you to remain a gentleman? And if you listen to me, you actually would get further in the kingdom, and unfortunately you won't. W Zeus. All right, listen. I don't know what that was, but Nutty went off on one of his unhinged rants. But, my friend Vegas girl is up here. And obviously this is a concerning moment. And I believe you had something to say, Vegas girl, real quick.
It's not a concerning moment. I have opinions.
Yeah.
I'm trying a different approach because being negative and calling people names and stuff has not worked for us.
So you still support the Democrat Party, right?
Of course. I'm not
Can I
going to
ask you a
vote.
question? Of
I'm not
course.
going to vote for Trump. I didn't vote for
Thank
Trump.
you.
It hasn't worked for us. But how's that been working for Donald Trump? Because that's all he does is be negative and call names. And look where he's sitting. So stop with this BS. Stop saying it's not working for us. It is time. Listen, I love Michelle Obama. But the thing that I disagreed with her most is when she said, when they go low, we go high. No, when you go low, I'm taking you to the pit of hell.
Okay, you're allowed to do that, and I'm allowed to go a different way. And I respect the way you want to be. You should respect the way that I want to be. We're going down. We're choosing different paths, but we're getting to the same place.
Can I ask you what your approach would be outside?
Look,
since our approach isn't really a good one.
Zeus, I consider you a friend. Shay, I consider all you guys friends. And if you
Yeah.
don't consider me a friend, that's on you.
I
That's
do.
not
I
on
still
me.
consider because I kind of am a more balanced person, and I think that I understand that we're all, even within the party, we all are independent thinkers, and I actually encourage that. But the comment you made, I was a little thrown back when you were talking about the messaging and things like that, because do you really, like Shay said, do you really think they listen to people that are
Do you know what I
Democrats?
find? But do you know what I find funny? And I'm not meaning
Sometimes
this.
we got to have these
This
family
is not
meetings.
a personal attack towards anyone.
This is a family meeting.
But
I get it.
I get berated and I get accused of being sus going into whoever's panels. When Zeus, you go into those panels, Shay goes into those panels, Jessica goes into those panels, you stay in the comments. Sometimes you talk to those people, but no one calls you guys out for doing it.
Now, Vegas, I'm going to stop you. If you follow me, you know I've been called a lot of things.
I know you have, and I go into those panels when I see you in there.
So I think this is what a lot of people don't get about TikTok and being online. All of us are subjected to having people that might not like our opinions and call us names, but I don't think it should change who you truly are. I think that where you're at right now, you're wanting to be a part of the battle, but we're trying to find out where you stand, and this is why what I'm hearing Nutty say and other people say, it sounds suspect, because you say that, and we hear people on the right saying that. So your rhetoric is aligning with the right. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, and
And
how
if
can you
people
be
don't
nice
know,
to
if people don't know who you really
Because
are,
I'm a grown adult, and if I want to try a different approach and be friends with people who I don't agree with politically, I don't think that's a problem.
I don't think so either.
Vegas, how can you be
I'm
nice
not
to people
trying
that
to
are arming
change these people's minds
Vegas, how can you be nice to people that are arming themselves and creating militias?
because I don't believe all of them are doing that.
Well, I
The
see it.
hang out with Uncle Ruckus, though. Vegas girl, you hang out with a guy that attacked the Capitol and cops. That's my problem. Is the room like if
Do you not go
if
into
you're
his
in
live?
debating?
You go into his live.
But hold on. I want to make sure.
I'm never up in the boxes though, girlfriend.
It doesn't matter. It's the same. You still
But-
up there. I'm trying to have conversations with people and find out what their way of thinking and find out how we can bring people back to
But
our
I don't
side
talk to him, honey.
and
I
stuff.
don't
And then
talk
you get accused of being suspect because you are trying a different approach.
Hold on.
Zeus.
Takesha was about to say something.
It's
This is
ridiculous.
this is a bit of a family meeting, but we'll get through this. Yes, Takesha.
Let me say this to you, Vegas girl. The reason you're called a sus is because you weren't with us from the beginning. You switched over.
That's
so
not true.
Hold on, baby.
But that's
Hold
not true, Takesha.
Well, you can respond to her, Vegas, please. Just
Okay.
let her finish it, and then
What
because I'm not
I
trying to
am
pile on you.
I don't feel that way. I don't feel
Okay, good,
attacked at all. I'm
good.
okay.
But the feedback is important.
You know, I was the first one to say give her a chance when you came in. When you said your husband told you that what you said sounded so bad, and you weren't talking up for the Democrats at that time. That's why you're sus, ma'am. That's why they look at you as a suspect. You don't have to go and see how they're thinking because you once were thinking like that yourself. So you know why and how they're thinking. So there's no need in trying to figure it out.
Now you want to respond to that, Vegas girl, because this is the feedback.
I understand what Takesha's saying. I'm just trying to not be in the negativity and stuff for my mental health, for my
Got it.
physical health. And if I'm trying a different path, my people, you guys should be okay with that. What I do should not affect you. If I choose to go and have a
Hold on, let her
conversation
finish,
with a MAGA,
and then you go, Nutty.
If I choose to go have a conversation with a MAGA person, you shouldn't worry about it. I'm not a Trump supporter. I didn't vote for him. But I'm not happy with the Democratic Party right now. It doesn't mean I'm going to go switch sides. I'm just not. We need some kind of new messaging to bring people to want to come and vote for us. I don't understand why that's a bad thing.
I have an opinion, but Nutty was trying to respond.
I mean, am I the only one that gets tired of all the negative and the arguing back and forth?
Well,
Why
I'll
are you
answer that.
unhappy with the Democrat Party?
Huh?
Why are you unhappy with the Democrat Party?
I didn't like the way that President Biden was treated. I felt like he was disrespected. But
we all
I
agree
did
with
like
that.
Harris. I did like Harris.
That's
I
MAGA.
thought,
MAGA are the ones that.
if you're going to ask me a question, either let me speak or drop me, because I'm not doing this where I get interrupted.
All right,
I
so
very rarely do I get mad, but you're going to see a new side of me that you're not going to like. I don't like being interrupted.
But Vegas girl,
No,
I'm
not
trying
even
to. We're having a family meeting, and again, we normally handle these things in a different way, but we're here, and I got to make sure I remain in complete control of this discussion. And Nutty is going to respond in just a second, but I'll say this: I don't like people telling me where I can go on this app. Right? I totally understand that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't try to police people. I've seen people 1 minute have a problem with someone and then the next minute be talking to that person, whether they're on the left or the right. So that's why I do what I do. I treat what I do like I'm basically running a business, so to speak, right? I'm doing a show. This is what I do. And if you can't do it, I don't fault you. But where you're at is no one knows you for like they know who I am, because I've put in a lot of time. Shay's put in a lot of time. All these people up here. So if we don't really know you, then you have to have the awareness that when people see you in passing, right, and they don't have anything to bounce off hold on, I think I'm going to mute you because it's an echo. When people don't know who you are and they see you, they come to these conclusions. And so I'm listening. I watched what you wrote in the chat, and you said Democrats need new messaging, this and that, and this is why the Democrats lost. All of us who've been engaged in this for a while, we know those are right-wing talking points. So there is a reason that we're kind of wondering, why are you repeating right-wing talking points. And if you don't know that you're repeating them, cool, but that's what you're doing. And when a person that says they are a Democrat, or I'm not a Democrat, you know, because some people say, but I still don't like Trump, you have to understand how this is looking. That's all we're trying to make sure you understand. I could care less what you do on the app.
I understand what you're saying, but are we not allowed to call out our own party and call out our own side?
Yes.
Are we not
totally
allowed to
do that.
That now makes me a MAGA supporter?
No, I
because
think
I'm calling out our own
But
side.
Nutty was going to
trying
say, and
hear
then you,
other
Shay, real
people's
quick. I'm sorry.
I don't understand that.
But, okay, Nutty, did you want to? Because I tried to at least be sincere.
No, I appreciate it, Zeus. I do. I consider you guys friends. If you don't like me, I can't do anything about that.
Since you did say this is a family meeting, I'm going to treat her just like family. So Vegas girl, you do have an echo, so can you mute up?
Yes,
so
I apologize for
I'm going to
that.
treat you just like family because
you,
in
Nutty.
families we argue, fuss, and fight. But at the end of the day, there's nobody I want to have my back other than my family members because I know who they are. And at the end of the day, if my family member says something, I don't want to have to wonder if they're telling me the truth, if they're on my side. And I'm not trying to frame it as okay, this is my side, this is your side sort of thing. But we are at that moment. We are at a moment in this nation's history where you're either with us or you're against us. There is no in between. We don't have time to be in between. We keep screaming that democracy is in peril. No, democracy is not in peril. Democracy is over. Now we're trying to keep our nation from going into a full-on fascist oligarchy, whatever other adjective you can name. And so therefore, I'm going to speak to you like my family. And when you're doing wrong, I'm going to tell you, I believe you are wrong. Do you have the right to do A, B, C, and D? Absolutely, you have the right. But just because you have the right to do something doesn't mean you should do something. And the fact that you said what you said when you first came into our orbit, I never came after you. Never. I've always been kind to you. I've always been respectful towards you. But I've never given you a follow back. Why is that? I'm going to tell you why. It's because I did not trust you. I didn't see enough of the work that was going to be put in to say, okay, even if she is a reformed person, she's really putting in the work. Now, listen, I'm going to say this and then I'm going to be done with it. I have a huge issue with a mutual, notice how I said mutual, friend of ours. And that's Mishi. Now, Mishi was in here earlier, and she tells people whenever I'm up on her live, she tells people about me. I have an issue with her. But see, I tell her my issue, she listens. And I see the work, Vegas, I see the work that Mishi has put in. Now, Mishi stated, yes, I voted for Trump twice. But every day Mishi is on this app. She's putting in the work. She's apologized for her narrow-minded thinking. Now, I know you said you didn't vote for Trump, so I'm not saying that you did. But the work has to be put in. And when you're over there laying in bed with fleas, I'm sorry, ma'am. You didn't get a flea collar on. You don't have a flea collar on. You've gotten fleas.
Exactly.
I'm done with the conversation.
And I mean, Vegas girl, and I'll say this, but I want to hear what your response is. You said something, and I just realized you said it's all doom and gloom. But what we're doing is telling you what Donald Trump is doing, and to be honest with you, it is doom and gloom. What Donald Trump is doing to this country. So why try to lie and tell people it's actually a good thing when it's not? All right, but yeah, your turn, Vegas girl. Sorry.
Can I share something with a regular reason?
Sorry, I got.
Well, I want her to go first.
Am I still having an echo?
I think you're okay.
Okay. Listen, I appreciate what you guys are saying. I'm not like I said, I'm not going to sit up here and defend myself or whatever because I don't feel like I'm doing anything wrong. I think it's okay to reach out to other people and be friends with other people who disagree with me. I don't have a problem with that. I push back when I don't believe what they're saying. When I push back on them, and I think that's okay. You guys choose not to go in there for your own reasons, and I respect that. But no one up here, I'm a grown adult. I'm choosing a different path because I'm telling you, if we keep with the negative and this and that, we're not going to win in 2028. Because
but no one,
we're about to have to
Vegas
fight.
girl, we're not saying you can't. We can't. I don't think anyone here is saying you can't do that. We're just letting you know what it looks like when you do.
I want to remind Vegas girl of something. Probably one of the most positive campaigns I've seen ran since the 1980s was Kamala Harris's campaign.
Yes.
That campaign was all about positivity.
But Vegas said she didn't like her, so.
Yeah, but where did that get us, Vegas?
Say that I voted for Harris. I thought Harris would make a good president.
Right. No, but I'm just going to ask you. I never
said I don't like her. That's not true.
My apologies. I thought I heard you say.
Hold on. We're getting off the question I asked.
Dave, keep the.
Okay. Yeah. So I asked you. We ran an entire, probably one of the most positive campaigns I've seen in 4 decades.
Yeah.
Okay. Where did that get us, Vegas girl?
I think there were some Democrats that were upset for the way Biden was pushed out. That's how some of us viewed it. I've heard people here on TikTok that were Democrats that were not happy with the way.
But
that wasn't the question.
But the question was, where did it get us?
That wasn't the question.
Well, we didn't win.
Okay.
Either way.
Thank you for the honest answer.
But it was a positive campaign, I think, is Val's point. And I do think we are very positive. But I think, I don't know which way negative you're talking about, but I think, I'll just say this, Vegas, you and I are cool. And
yes,
you know that the thing that I've just noticed lately, and I'm just going to be honest with you, okay? I do go in there, and I think you know my backup that they don't know, right? And occasionally I go in on my name, but I just listen and I leave. And what I've noticed is you've been hanging out with them a lot. And the problem I have with that particular room is not because they're Trump supporters. That in itself is, right. But it's that they dropped the N-word, right? They're okay using the N-word. They're okay, calling Mexicans the W word. It's the character of the people. It's not the fact that they're Trump supporters to me, okay? I'm okay with trying to have a decent conversation with somebody that votes a different way. I do that, Vegas girl. I've done that for 5 years on this app. I don't have an issue with that, sweetheart. The problem is the characters in the room that you chat with. And I've heard you buck against them. I've heard you debate with them. I'm not saying that that's not what you're doing. I just will never have a conversation or be pulled up in the box with danger and any of those characters because they're okay using the N-word. They're okay being derogatory. I will always stand against that. That's why I hope that my reputation on this app is a person that stands by something, okay? And stands against something solidly. And so I guess I would just have to say, is it okay in your eyes to be saying, these are my friends? I saw you say it in the chat, but these are my friends. When Tara came in and questioned you why you're there.
Can I just say something?
Can I say something real quick?
That's what curled my skin. I'll just be honest with you, Vegas.
Okay, so I want you, Vegas, I want you to understand that this is about to get violent. This is not about who's arguing on an app. I'm in the middle of this. I'm surrounded by white supremacy. We are about to get in a fight. And I mean, I'm not talking about an argument either. These people are organizing, and you guys don't realize it. I'm not getting in. Anybody that I see that's on their side, I don't care who they are, black, white, green, red, whatever, man, woman, whatever. I don't care. If they're on that side, that's where they are, and I'm against it. We are about to get into a mix-up with these people, and you don't realize it.
Lex, let me tell you, it's like what Eminem said, I'm drawing a sand in the line. You're either for him or against. Like, they have to make a choice. There's no more wishy-washy. They don't know You know, you have to make a choice. You have to stand for something, or you fall for anything, right?
So Vegas,
Tinkerbell, it's funny.
let me make my point clear. I don't hate you. I don't hate you. But the thing is, I cannot. I can't. I don't feel like I can trust you. I don't feel like I can trust you. You trying to talk to MAGA and whatever, that's fine. That is totally fine. But where my problem lies, and here's where the distrust comes in. When I hear you regurgitating the same talking points. And the one that triggers me the most, and this is why I said something today, that's why you lost the last election. That triggers me the most. That's why you lost the last election. As if the people on the left are the most incompetent idiots on the planet. That's why you lost the election. That triggers me the most. And therein lies my distrust for you. And that's why I called you sus.
Right. And then the people that follow that know that's not why we lost the election, first off. But Vegas Girl, I want to ask you just a quick question. And Tinkerbell, thank you for bringing up that song, because that segued right into this. That song's about addiction. Okay? When you talk about addiction, and I consider MAGA an addiction. Okay? When you talk about addiction, ma'am, when somebody's addicted, who has to make the first move?
I understand what you're saying, Val. I know that there are people, MAGA supporters, that we can't reach. But there are also those people, because I've talked to some of these people personally, not on a TikTok live, that are not happy with who they voted for. And those are the people that I think we can reach.
No, those people can be reached.
I
No, you're
disagree,
right.
but I disagree. And that's okay that we don't agree on that.
But ma'am, you're not listening to what I said. They made the first move when they came out and said they were not happy with their vote. They admitted their addiction at that point. And then we can help. But until they admit their addiction, you can't help an addict.
And this is what cracks me up, because I'm hearing you guys, and I appreciate and respect each one of you. You may not believe it now, but it's the truth. But the comments is what cracks me up, is because when you voice a different opinion or a different way to try to reach people, I saw it with Moo, the cat. I came in the middle of that. He was being crucified in the comments for he was having a respectful conversation with you, Zeus. Period.
Please don't bring Moo up.
Hold on one second.
Because I'm going to, Vegas Girl, I'm going to insult you if you use Moo as an example. Please don't bring him up.
Hold on one second.
Because he had said some stuff that was very harsh towards the black community. Please don't bring Moo up on this live.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I know you didn't. That's why you need to stop bringing people up that you don't know what they talking about.
Don't bring Moo.
Every
Let's
time
just
they
keep
come,
it.
don't bring Moo up, period.
He's not even here, but I don't have an issue with Moo.
I do.
I get it, and I would never tell anyone how to feel, but I will say it's a tough job for me to keep, this kind of community we've gotten as together as possible and keep the message going. But Vegas, to your point, yeah, you're going to meet resistance when you say things that don't sit well with people. That's normal, and that's not just unique to on the left. That happens quite a bit on the right. You understand that, right? I mean, look at Mike Pence.
Well,
so when I hear you say stuff like that, I go, I love the fact that you can be so critical of our current party, but when it comes to addressing the elephant in the room, which is the right, we're having a huge issue, right? Because I'll be the first to tell you, there are Trump supporters, and Nutty was in there, and I think even some of you have been there. On the right, we go in there, but they have a good amount of respect for what we do and the work we've put in, and they open up their platforms to us and allow us to do what we do. But it speaks, what Shay is talking about is the character of the people, right? And you could tell a lot about people by the people that they hang out with. And what we're saying to you, you're free to go into these spaces and try to break through with them, but you can't tell us how to react to you doing that. no more than we can tell you not to do it. Does that make sense?
Of course it does.
So it blows my mind.
Let me just finish this. I knew when I said what I said last night that I'm trying a different approach, and I'm trying to be friends with people and try to figure out why are they voting this way. What we can. I knew I was going to get pushback, and I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I respect the hell out of Shay and everybody up here, Nutty, Tisha, Lex, all of you guys, Val. I appreciate what you're saying. I'm just trying a different path for my own sanity and for my own mental health. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
And so that's earlier I asked you, I said, so I believe, and I'll say this, I'm probably too nice, right? A lot of people say, Zeus, you're way too nice. Why are you even talking to these people? So, but even me, at a certain point, I'm kind of like, there has to be a line in the sand where you as a person say, I can't go beyond that point. So my question to you is, one, do you think all of us have tried what you're doing already? Do you think all of us have tried to be nice to MAGA at one point?
Maybe some of you have, but some people just constantly want to call them names.
Wrong.
And look,
okay.
it's the same way too. They call us names too. I get that.
But
yeah,
I'll be the first to tell you. I'll be the first to tell you. If I would argue, a lot of people have already tried to be nice to MAGA and embrace them on an intellectual level. But what you're feeling right now, and a lot of people within the party, is the frustration that being genuine, being factual, right, and showing them information does not work, no matter how nice you are. And when you're dealing with folks like that, right, you have to use different types of tools to get the points across. And that's where we're at with this entire conversation. Nutty,
educate Janae Vegas. Come on.
I'm not trying to educate her.
And so when we hear people, okay, Q, and I'll say this, and then Q Dog, you could go. When we hear people that come in here and they got different ideas and different opinions, what I hear a lot of is you'll totally annihilate the Democrat Party and then say, now follow me. You see what I'm saying? And I don't think that that's really the right path forward. You actually have to recognize you have to work with people like me, Lex, Val, Takesha, Tinkerbell, Shay, to get whatever it is across. Because we're not going to throw the baby away with the bathwater, so to speak. You get what I'm saying? Like, there are still people out here. Oh, I said Nutty, but Nutty's kind of out of control right now because he said something about me, but I apologize.
Let me ask you that. Can I ask, I'm going to ask the whole panel this. Can I ask
well, hold on, Vegas, because Q Dog wants to talk first. But
okay,
I'll say
I'm
this.
sorry.
You can't negate all the hard work we're currently doing to try to make your idea become the number one dominant one and get us all on board. It's not going to work like that. You actually have to figure out how to get whatever it is you're doing to be part of what we're already doing. Because a lot of us feel a certain type of way about Biden, just like you. A lot of us feel a certain type of way about the way Kamala Harris was done, just like you. A lot of us feel those same issues the same way you do. But we're also at a point where we're going, well, if we don't stop this man right now, there won't even be an opportunity to fix this. I mean, whether it's the people who sat out, you know what I'm saying? If you sat out, this is how I feel. If you sat out, I don't even want to hear you. Why did you sit out? Oh, I didn't like, okay, I feel a certain type of way about that, right? And so what you got to understand is everyone feels a certain type of way, but the messaging and the movement that we're trying to at least get out here, which is you got to start being able to help people wake up and realize they need to look at the information on their own and become an informed voter and not vote for their own demise. That's the issue. Q Dog.
What I wanted to add to the conversation, what you got to realize, Vegas, is we as a people, our ancestors asked and was polite. Our civil rights leaders asked and was polite, and they marched for our rights and what we should be equally have in this society. Now we're at a stage, and I'll say this. My good friend, God rest his soul, Tupac said, now we're at a point now we're picking the lock and we coming in the door, kicking in the door. See, we were in a live over the weekend, me, Nutty, and Zeus, and a few others. in Dame's live. Now, anybody that knows me and Dame, we've been since day one at each other. Now, I came with a different approach, but with the same intent. And that particular time frame of this weekend, I saw a different side of Dame, where he had some compassion and understanding. At least that's how he presented it to us. But at the end of the day, when we start talking about what really is going down, it's the reason why people are triggered when I talk about white supremacy and the triple Ks and whatnot. They get triggered and they drop you. And that's what happened in his life. And this is the reason why we say this to you is when you're straggling fence, and some of the people that try to follow me or that have followed me, and I no longer have them follow me, I saw them in his life. And I'm observing. I'm seeing how they move. Now, it's okay if you want to go in there and you want to talk points, but you can't straggle the fence and say, okay, well, as long as they're not in here, I'm gonna be here with you. Janae, I wouldn't spit on her if she was on fire, because she's just that type of person. But I know how to maneuver around her. I would never go in her live. The only time you see me going into somebody's live is because you see one of my friends that's already in there and they coming at them. So now I'm picking the lock and I'm coming in the door.
Yeah,
That's the attitude that's the attitude you gotta have if you plan on being a part of this situation that we're trying to move forward with positivity. Because we already know how they function and how they work. They're not gonna change their minds.
Yeah, Q-Dog, it's like when Obama said, we fired up, we're ready to go. You know? We fired up.
Let me say this really quickly. Q, listen. First of all, this is how I get down. I know what's going on. I know, as I said before, this is an app. What is going on off the app is dangerous, and right now we're in the failure of our democracy. Literally, I have absolutely no quarter for these people. Period. And if you appear to be an ally or a friendly, and I still think that you may be on that side, I have no quarter for you either. Now, if I find out later on that you were, I mistook you for somebody else, sorry. But the thing is I'm telling you guys right now, this is getting to where it goes on the street. This is getting into, we're in a dangerous part of this country. This country is about to fail. And this is not a joke or a game. This is not, I enjoy TikTok. I love Zeus to death. We talk on the phone. He's providing great information. He understands what this system is doing and what's going on. But I'm telling you right now, this is not a game. And if you get in my way of protecting our democracy, or we as black people or black women or any of those things, I'm going to run over you. If it's an accident, sorry, I'll give you a Band-Aid.
So Vegas, can I ask you a question? And it's rhetorical because I think I know the answer to this. But Vegas, are you a racist?
Inherently, yes. I think all.
Well, I agree with that statement. Inherently, I agree with that, and thank you for saying that. The reason I said I think I know the answer to this, I called you sus, not because I thought you were a racist. I want to make that abundantly clear. But if I see you constantly hanging out with racists, and I see you, and I hear you constantly using the same racist ideologies and talking points that they use, do you see why I say I can't trust you? So I'm using racism right here because I think you will understand where I'm coming from. I'm using racism here to show the parallel with MAGA and everyone else. If I hear you speak like a MAGA and I see you hanging around MAGA, what's the concept? You are MAGA. Because if you walk like a duck, you quack like a duck, guess what, Vegas? Quack, quack. You're a duck. Now, I get what you're saying, and never have I ever told anyone where they can and cannot go on this app or off. And if you want to try a different approach, good for you, and I wish you well. However, like Lex, we're at a time in our nation where just like black people don't have time to deal with someone we don't trust when it comes to racism, that's how we all should be as U.S. citizens. We don't have time to even determine who's with us and who isn't. Because if you are not with me, you are 100% against me. And if you get harmed in the fire, that's called friendly fire, then that's just a casualty of war.
Switch. The minute they feel like they're empowered, they'll flip like a light switch right against us.
Right.
And that's the reason we can't trust them.
But let me ask the panel a question. Do you think that only the racist, the misogynist, the bigoted are on the right, or do you not think that we have some in our own backyard?
Oh, no, there's definitely some in our own backyard.
Okay, then that's my whole point.
Yeah, but you've got a room, Vegas, as I said, that is known to say the N-word, proudly says the N-word, encourages black MAGA themselves are encouraging their white counterparts to say the N-word, and you know what I'm saying? And it's all this
nuclear
hate and all of this stuff going on. And it's like I would never associate myself with them to even try to have a political conversation. That's where you're, in order to be white, I'm white presenting BIPOC, but I'm in a white skin. In order for my black friends, my black counterparts on this app to trust me, I cannot say and call out this and then go hang out with a room of people that are proudly doing and pushing white supremacy. And
Let me ask you a question. If I'm going in there to engage and have conversations, you're going in there to listen. So what's the difference?
Because I'm not getting up in the box and giving them my time, and I literally.
Okay, but I'm trying to talk to people. I don't understand what having a conversation.
But why would you talk to? There's no having conversation.
Because I'm an adult and I can talk to whoever I want.
Okay, that's fine, Vegas girl. But
that argument is off base. Vegas girl, whatever.
I know Janae though, and that's the thing is what she wants is to pull us over there. So that it's this whole they're saying, see, she's weakening. See, she likes us.
But see, this is
I don't think you see what they're doing with you, sweetheart. And that's
I actually do. I'm actually a grown adult. I have a brain. I know you don't think
I'm not saying you don't.
And to me, when you say stuff like that, it's kind of insulting because you're insulting my intelligence.
I didn't mean to. That's not what I was trying to do.
And I kind of thought we were friends.
Hey, guys, hold on
1 second.
Hey, hold on.
You took that wrong.
Can I drop attacking is asking to come back up, and I will gladly drop for attacking.
Sure. We're in super duper overtime, and we're going to wrap it up in about 5, maybe 10 more minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We'll give it about 10 more minutes, and this is an important conversation, so I don't mind doing it.
I just think it's sad that we live in a country.
Give me 2 ticks, Vegas. Let me ask you a question. Do you know who Professor Jane Elliott is?
No.
Okay. I need you to do some homework tonight. I need you to pull up a seminar that she had. It was actually an experiment that she had full of entirely white tea.
Oh, I know. I do know who you're talking about. She's
okay, yeah, you know she.
I know.
She asked the audience. She said, "For everyone in here that sees and knows things that are happening with black and brown people, stand up if you are for that." And she asked again, she said, "I don't think you understood the question." She said, "Stand up if you know what's happening, if you're for what happens to black and brown people in this world." Nobody stood up. She went forward to say, "That tells me you know what's happening, you see what's happening, but you refuse to acknowledge it for yourself. Would you want it to be for yourself?" Nobody stood up, nobody answered. See, these are the rooms that this panel was talking about. When you go into these lives, these folks know exactly what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing. But when you entertain them, you see it happening, you hear it happening, but would you want it for yourself? If you wouldn't want it for yourself, why would you entertain it?
My grandma used to say, if you straddle the fence, your ass gets sore.
Thanks for letting me up, Zeus.
You're welcome, attacking. Go ahead, attacking.
If you straddle that fence with barbed wire, you're going to get ripped.
Attacking's about to go.
So, Vegas girl, you're in my broadcast asking the same questions. Okay, so now I'm going to be a little bit more pinpointed to my questions with you. Do I ever blatantly lie about a subject? Yes or no?
No.
Does Janae and Stacy blatantly lie about a subject? Yes or no?
I don't know.
Is Joe Biden an assayer of children? Yes or no?
No.
Does Janae and Stacy say he is? Yes or no?
They've called him. I've heard one. I've heard.
It's a yes or no.
I've heard them call him a pedo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, I have.
Hold on, but you haven't called them out.
I have.
No, you
Yes,
have
I
not.
have.
When the audio that I've heard, that I get, when they've said it, you've sat there quietly. Now, again, has Janae and Stacey called Michelle Obama a man? Yes or no?
I think one has.
No, I know both of them have.
I haven't heard both.
Hold on, hold on, hold on.
And that's why you're suspect right there, the way you answer
Hold on,
these
hold on,
questions.
hold on, please.
Zeus, I'm finna go. Bye.
All right, Nikisha, thank you.
Please.
We can't even have a conversation without. You're asking me to be honest. I'm being honest, and
But
then
the
you
thing
don't
is-
like
but
my
the thing is-
answers.
but the
So
thing is
please
this.
go away if you can't.
What he's saying, Vegas, is I don't even go on their lives like that, and I've heard her say it in a few lives that I've been in. You've been in there multiple times. From what they're saying, I don't know, but from what everybody's saying, you've been in that live multiple times. If I've only been in there a handful of times, I could count on my hand, maybe once or twice, and heard her say it.
All right.
You know.
Can I get back on my question?
Yes, hurry up, Attacking. People got other things to do.
Yesterday, did I apologize to you about a comment I made to make sure that you weren't held accountable for not holding me accountable for that comment? Yes or no?
Yes, of course you did.
Would Janae or Stacy do that to you? Yes or no? If they made a comment about me in front of you, would they apologize knowing that you come and talk to me in my broadcast? Would they apologize knowing that you come and talk to me in my broadcast? Would they apologize to you to say, "Oh, we don't want attacking to attack you for what we said," right? Would they do that like I did?
Of course not.
No, exactly.
No.
So the thing is this.
You're being honest.
They're the ones being disingenuous about this division, and they're creating it and allowing it. And I hate to say this, and you are welcome in my room. I've said it. I've kept the discussion yesterday free of attacks. But they don't. They don't. They're probably listening right now and recording what's going on. They are. And the thing is this, I'm the only one between me and them, that I asked them to make videos of me, call me names, so on and so forth. You know why? Because I'm not emotionally attached to any verbiage. They are. They get emotionally hurt when somebody calls them a liar.
There you go, Dr. Keisha.
But Attacking, can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Do you ever get tired of the negativity that goes on?
From the right side, yes, I do.
I'm talking about just in general. There's so much negativity.
No, due to the
in our
fact that there
country.
is no emotion, there is no emotional connection due to the words. There is no emotional connection due to the words. The thing is this.
Thank you, Val.
It's the actions of the people. It's the actions of the people and willingness to ignore the truth, make up stories about people they dislike, and cover for somebody that they do like. And that's exactly what Danger, Shay, Stacy, Angel, everybody does over there. And I've got audio sent to me as you're sitting, as they're degrading people that haven't committed crimes, done anything SA towards women or children. You have sat there quietly, not calling them out for the lies that they have put forth to the people that follow them. And then, unlike me in my broadcast yesterday, they allowed people to attack other people. I wouldn't let anybody attack you. I reined in the volume, and I will always do that to people. They don't. So if you want change, you need to hold them accountable. You going up there, I don't think there's any specific reason why you go there. You just want to go up there for whatever. I don't care why you do it. Because you're welcome to me.
I know that attacking. I consider you a good friend. My whole point is this: when I talk about the negativity and stuff, we talked about this yesterday. I feel like, as a liberal, I want to change the way we move forward.
I want to know.
And not focus on
bottom line. Bottom line. Last question. Bottom line. Who's lying about the facts? Us or them? Hard documented facts. Who's lying about it? Us or them?
I think you always bring receipts and stuff, and I
didn't. That's not what I said. I asked, who is lying about the hard documented facts? Us or them?
I'm not going to answer that.
Okay, so we're going to move it on, but I'll take
I'm not
no.
gonna sit up there
I'll
and
take
talk-
no contest as guilty.
No, Zeus, here's my point. The reason why I don't answer that is because I don't know. I don't do receipts. I don't do sources.
If you had to roll, if $1 million Vegas, if $1 million was on the line and you had to decide, just be honest, because what you're doing is you're enabling bad behavior when you don't address it. I mean, I'm a person that I know how to string along something that really shouldn't be strung along, right? You got to know when to nip things in the butt. I recognize this. Either you believe them or you don't.
I don't think.
Do you really believe what they're? Do you
I don't
honestly
think it's
though?
productive to call people liars.
Okay,
if they
but do you?
truly
Okay,
believe what they're saying and they bring their receipts or whatever? Maybe
but
they're
Vegas,
misinformed.
I'm not
I don't
asking
think
you.
It's productive to call people liars on this.
I'm not asking you about your belief system. We can get into that, and that's a whole nother lot. I'm asking you, and this is what attacking is asking. Do you genuinely believe that they are being truthful when they talk to you as a liberal? Do you think the people on the right that you go and converse with, you know who they are? Do you genuinely believe that they are telling the truth? I know the answer.
I take people for their word.
Okay, so
I can't dispute. I don't bring up receipts. I don't bring up
okay,
sources,
so let me do you.
counteract
Let me. So if somebody says and attacking says that Joe Biden is a P3DO, and you've heard them say it, we've all heard them say it. You're gonna say what?
And someone said I'm being pulled over to MAGA. This has nothing to do with
ma'am,
MAGA.
Vegas, please.
you're
I'm just
not.
Vegas. I'm trying to make this as. It's painful, but I'm trying
Why
to.
is it painful that I just want to try a different path?
But you're not. But because I've asked you, is Joe Biden a P3DO?
Well, I've already been asked that. No, I've never.
Okay.
That.
So if I were so let's just finish this. If I come and tell you he's a P3DO, what does that mean? I'm saying to you, that means I'm lying, right?
Don't even entertain those kind of questions because they're stupid.
Right.
And I know that he's not.
But
I don't
Vegas,
entertain that foolishness.
But Vegas, is he? If I come to you and I say he's a P3DO, you would know that I'm lying, right?
Yes.
Because
I believe him not to be one.
You know he's.
There are people in this
Answer
country
these
that
questions,
believe
y'all.
that
She
he
wants to
is.
be in their rooms.
Okay, so and I think what I understand is happening here is because you still have a relationship with him, you're not quite able to be as upfront and honest as you know you should be, and that's totally fine. I've been there before, Vegas girl. I've been there before, right? But at a certain point, huh?
I don't think that's true.
You don't think what's true?
That I'm afraid to be. I've pushed back on Janae and them calling him a PDP.
I wasn't even using Janae's name.
Not,
I'm not using their names at all. I'm just saying in general, if a person comes to you and lies about the character or behavior of a person, you would have the ability to know whether it was a lie or not, correct?
Yes, and
okay,
I don't
and that's
Joe Biden is a pedo.
Okay.
I don't know why this is even what we're talking about.
Because if you truly pushed back, they wouldn't let you up there.
That's not true.
Bullshit. They don't. Why don't they let me up there, Vegas girl?
What about Admir? What did they do to Admir, Vegas girl?
You would have to ask them. I don't have a problem. Admir and I are actually really good friends. I don't have a problem.
But Vegas girl, at the end of the day,
what did they do to Admir? What happened between?
You know why they let me come up there? Because when I come up there, I don't come in there calling them maggots and insulting people. I come in there to try to be a rational person. Why are you laughing, Doug?
Because I come in and ask them subtraction questions and they flip the fuck out.
Dubs,
Sorry,
come
Zeus,
on.
sorry.
You come in sometimes.
Now, I come in and ask them economic data questions and they immediately lose it. And then I ask them questions about quoting Donald Trump. I can't even say, did Trump say this without them losing it because they know Trump said what I'm saying.
I just think it's ridiculous and sad
Vegas
that we
girl, let
live
me
in a
make my
country
point real
where
quick.
people,
Vegas
I
girl, I've
consider you
actually
guys
defended you
all
in the past.
friendlies, but
Vegas
we
girl,
can't have
I've
different
actually
opinions.
Hold on, Vegas. Hold on.
It's ridiculous.
I've actually defended you in the past, but I'm going to tell you what I'm thinking right now. You're not credible because if you don't actually hold them accountable in their life while you have the chance and they're calling Michelle a man, you're not credible. You're not one of us. You're not somebody that we can trust. If you're going to go in there and allow them to do that without calling them out, then you are the problem.
I have
Because you,
called them
hold
out
on,
in
let
the
me finish,
past.
please.
But I have called them
Let
out
me
in the
finish,
past.
please.
Go ahead.
If you're there and they're doing it and you're not calling them out with your, credibility in their eyes, that they're letting you hang out with them. If you can't do it, none of us can. Who else is gonna? Because if you're sitting there listening to them and you know it's bullshit, you know Joe isn't what they say, you know Michelle isn't what they say, and you say nothing, you allow it to perpetuate. So how are you not part of the problem? Why should we let you in our spaces when you don't confront those people in theirs?
I have called them out. I've also
Bullshit. If you did, they
hold
won't
on.
let you up there.
Doug, keep it clean. Gotta keep it clean. But Tinkerbell, I'm gonna drop you and bring up Kabira, all right,
Jay,
Tinkerbell?
have I not defended you in those lives when they came after you and said that you said racial
Thank you,
stuff? Did
Tinkerbell.
I not defend you and have your back?
You defended what we defend. They wouldn't let you up there because they don't believe what we believe. If you confronted them the way they deserve, they wouldn't allow you in their spaces.
I can push back at people and do it in a respectful way. I don't have to come in there hot and insult people and call them names and stuff like that. If you guys choose to do that, that's you. That's not how I am.
All right.
I'm going to give respect and be kind to people if they're giving me kind
All right,
and
hold
respectful
on.
back.
We got to let Dr. Keisha speak, and then because we got to.
Vegas,
Yes.
do you know the reason why I asked you, did you know who that professor was?
I know who she is. She was
Okay.
the blue-eyed green
It's not
eye.
the reason of do you know who she is. Do you know the reason why I asked you that question?
No, I don't. But go ahead.
Okay. Let me ask you this question. Have you ever heard any of these folks, MAGA, Blagger, would not speak anything ill about President Bush, Ronald Reagan?
I mean, I don't recall having conversations about the Bush.
There's a reason behind this. This is the reason why I say that. And see, you're seeing, but you don't see. You're veering forward with those blinders on, like those Clydesdale put on the side, where you can't see the left or the right. You're just seeing a tunnel vision.
There you go. Now we gotta get Dr. Keisha in here. Sorry, but Zeus is out of here in 5 minutes, and I gotta
I
get
feel
here.
like I'm in an intervention. I feel like this is an intervention because I'm trying to voice a different
No heavy
opinion.
lifting. No heavy lifting.
And you immediately get called a MAGA supporter because you
The
have a different
reason why I say that, I need you to
No,
listen.
she's not MAGA, guys. I will defend
This is what
her.
happened
no.
before,
You're not
Shay.
listening.
This
You're
is
not
exactly
listening.
what happened before.
Hold on. We're losing control. Zeus
no,
doesn't
but-
like to
Not
lose
listening.
control of the
But
live.
Zeus, this is what happened before.
Hold on.
You get attacked for having a different opinion.
I'm not
Vegas.
calling you MAGA.
I'm not
Vegas.
saying you, Q-Dog.
Vegas, no one here is calling you MAGA, and if they're saying it in the
Just
chat,
ignore the chat. It happens.
that's their freedom, just like it's your freedom to go wherever you want. Why this? You can't get on this app and get mad when you get a reaction from people. It's just then get off the app.
It doesn't speak well for our side.
It doesn't speak well for you. You speak for yourself. Now, Q-Dog, please finish up. We don't got all day to do this.
This is the reason why I say this. The reason why they attack President Biden and they attack Obama is for the very reason why back in the day when they used to have the slaves, and they used to have what's called white tea slaves, right? That wanted to protect the black slaves. What do they call them? They call them in lovers. This is the very reason why they go against Biden and attack him, because he was backed by Obama. He was backed by Michelle Obama. A black couple that were in the presidency. Now, in history,
that's 10 seconds, champ. You know that's 10 seconds. Thank you, brother. Dr. Keisha, thank you, brother. I appreciate it, but Zeus has to run, and I got to let the ladies also get their message out here. Dr. Keisha, how are you?
Oh, I follow you to whatever room, and you can do whatever because I know your mission and purpose, but I do block, and so I don't see those rooms anymore because I don't have time for that.
Okay.
I actually wanted to talk about something else, if that's okay, because I don't want to censor somebody. Some people were in the middle of a war. For others, I think we're in the middle of a baseball game, or I'm not sure what's going on. And they want to be the water boy, water girl. And I don't think that we need to be trusting people. Now, listen, you can have your other group, because all the groups I'm in, I don't know what she's talking about, but I'm in Win with Black Women, the Texas Congress. You don't do this stuff. So I think you need to maybe rethink your groups, because all the people that I'm on the side, Democratic side, are positive.
Yeah.
But what is happening, in all seriousness, is dismantling this country. And it's not funny for me, who has colleagues that are in public health, that do this every freaking day.
Thank
When
you.
people are making a mockery and lying about things. The CDC just stopped giving advisory for C-19 vaccines for our country. They just stopped. Because you know why? They gutted the agency, they gutted the FDA, and now they want to have a hold. So while you think these people are friendlies, in the middle of a war, are you going to sit and coddle and fraternize, or are you going to move forward? Now, you can move forward, but I don't have time to pick people up. If you want to get in line, get in line. But at the end of the day, it is really serious when I have some of my friends that have always been the middle of the road, that are like in healthcare, saying they're trying to unalive us. Literally. For those that don't have the ability, don't have the capability, not offering these C-19 vaccines when we have over 1.1 million that are unalived, and still every week there are hundreds of people unaliving from C-19. Still, people that used to be doctors and surgeons can no longer practice because C-19 damaged their nervous system. So miss me with all of this, arguing about who went into what room and your side. If you want to coddle with them, but you are not our friend. I don't know you, but what I do know is that my people are at risk for unaliving, and the whole country is, with what they're dismantling. So while they sit on their jets and planes, and while these people don't understand they will be part with us in the basement, while they sit on their jets and planes, they'll have access to the best medicine when we have another outbreak, which is on its way, but we won't know because we're not testing. When we have more cancer rising in young people and we can't research it, they will be gone out of here getting access to it in the government, but we won't have access to it. So if you have time for that, go do time for it. But I'm not uplifting people that are about nonsense right now, because there's bigger and better things to deal with.
Amen.
That's why I'm a grown man.
Amen.
Mic drop.
Amen.
That's exactly, yeah, right there.
Thank you, Dr. Keisha, for that. Kabira, how are you doing?
I'm fine. Thank you, Zeus. Hello, panel. Amen, Dr. Keisha. That was spot on. You know, only thing I'd like to say to Vegas Girl is this, is that when you support a lie, right, you're supporting a disease, sweetheart, right? And it's a disease of the heart. Okay? And no matter how much you try to side with a liar, you will never win, and your heart will become as diseased as theirs, right? So never support a lie. And you may not even, by not saying anything, right, is supporting a lie. So that's not even supporting the truth, right? So that's all I have to say.
Wow. You hear that?
We love Kabira. We love you, Kabira.
Yeah.
You too,
Thank
Dr.
you.
Keisha.
And Vegas, I'll say this: Nutty was Nutty was the guy in Wakanda, my beautiful bay, right? Were the two individuals, because I used to do the same shit, Vegas. I used to just play, I used to do the same things, and I used to just kind of play nice, and then I would occasionally argue, then I would stay quiet because I didn't really know. And those two beautiful friends of mine would call me on the carpet. And that's when I woke up to realize I can't play nice with these people. As in, I'm going to hang out. We're going to talk about what our kids did today, and we're just going to laugh and play. Meanwhile, they voted against every single thing that matters to me, to my Black community, to my Hispanic community, to my women community, to people in general. And the fact that these vaccines will no longer be, we're literally going to be unaliving more. They voted for this stuff because they fell for the lies and they think it's BS. And I can't have conversation with people like this. And so I stopped playing nice by hanging out and chatting about the weather with them.
Then why do you go into their lives now?
I don't go up in there. I go in, I listen, and I leave. That's
But you
all.
still
That's not
go
the
in
same,
there.
Vegas,
You
as
still
going
get-
up in the box and
I know
chatting
that,
with
Shay,
these
but
people.
you're still giving them attention. They know when you come in there.
But Vegas,
It's an accidental scroll, actually, Vegas, because I've told them block me so I don't even accidentally scroll into your lives.
But here's the thing,
So
Vegas.
I'm not in there on purpose.
They come in Vegas. Here's the thing. They come in here too, and if you go in there, that's fine. What my issue is, you are acting shocked that you're getting the reaction you're getting, and
Oh,
I just
no,
want to
I'm
make.
not- I'm not
so
shocked.
we're so that
it's
you
just
understand.
sad.
So you well,
We're supposed to be the party of tolerant and stuff.
No,
but we can't stand for someone else to have a different opinion.
Vegas.
Tolerant of racist, Vegas girl.
Vegas.
Ever.
I don't know who
Janae
gave you
recorded
that.
Zeus
Not
and
gonna
I's
happen.
Janae recorded
Vegas,
Zeus. Janae recorded Zeus and I's conversation yesterday, right, Zeus? I showed you
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Yeah, that was sent to me. And the thing is this, Vegas.
I
They
don't
say-
care about that stuff.
but neither do I. I tell them about me. But the thing is this. They get upset because we call them out and hold them accountable. See, you can't be part of a group if you don't hold them accountable. Because that means that you're compliant to what they say. If I say something wrong, Zeus, Shay, Alex, everybody here is going to call me out for saying something incorrect. They don't, and you don't. And again, I protected you yesterday because they're going to use my comment against you because you didn't defend her. So I took that ability away for them to attack you. See, again, calling me names, I don't care about names because there's nothing emotional. There's no emotional connection to names with me or attacks. They are right now. I put my phone on. Day and Electric, whatever, are degrading an 18-year-old kid because he's putting out information. And you got Rocco calling him a Marxist because he's calling out Trump being a horrible man. He goes, "Do you know Trump personally?" Well, Rocco has called Joe Biden a horrible person. Does he know Biden personally? Do you see the hypocrisy with their attacks?
But we don't do the same thing. I mean,
I call them out for their lies.
Kabira, you were going to say something?
I'm just going to say this, and then, if you guys don't want to be my friends, you want to block me, I can respect that. I'm going to go down the path that I want to go.
Yeah.
And I will continue to be a liberal, and you may not think that. If I'm giving right talking points, I don't really.
But Vegas, what is
I
that
don't think
path?
that I am, but I think it's ridiculous that we can't have.
Vegas, what is that path, and where does it lead?
That's what I was asking.
Here's the thing: I don't want to hear about Trump. Okay, Trump's going to be irrelevant in
Who's
3 years.
president
He's
right
not
now?
running in
Who's
2028.
president right now?
Oh,
I
okay.
want the
I'm going to let that be. But I'll respect those boundaries. If you don't want to hear about Trump, then this show is the worst place to be. Because every morning I say this, don't I?
If you're not happy here,
don't I say this every morning?
If you're not happy here, then you can leave.
Right?
As far as I'm concerned, if you hate our country, if you're not happy here, you can leave. If you're not happy.
Now, I play that every morning,
I know
and it's
that.
genius work that I do. But what I'm showing people is the real issue, when you think about it, isn't the Democrats. It's not Zeus. It's not any of these people. It's this guy. If he was not giving us the content to cover, we wouldn't even be talking about it. So where's the source of all of this? So how does a person say they don't want to talk about the person that's the biggest elephant on the face of the earth right now? That to me,
Vegas, if you corrected me every time you came into my broadcast, I would never ban you. I would never block you, and I'd never get angry at you. But if you did that to the other group that we're talking about, they would. If you went out
They wouldn't do that.
but really, Vegas, why are you talking to these people that if you don't care about, you don't want to ever hear Trump again? Why come tell us on the left that, but go hang out with the people on the right and talk about Trump? You're sending
we don't
confusing.
necessarily talk about politics.
What are
Trump
you
that
talking
much,
about
to
on the
be
right with
honest.
these people? If you don't talk about politics on the right with these people, maybe I've got it confused. What are we talking about?
I mean,
But
we do talk about some politics, but we
so
also
you talk about Trump, right?
No, I don't talk. No,
You're there. If Trump, I see their name, liberals request up. What are we doing to deliver? Oh, we're talking about probably going. We're going to go to vacation together in Switzerland. You're not talking about that. I see what you're talking about. You're arguing about Abrego Garcia. You're arguing about the tariffs. You're talking about Trump. So you cannot convince me, and I got to say it right there. You're not going to convince me you're on TikTok and you're never ever going to ever talk about Trump again. And to take out your frustration with Trump on us, that's misplaced aggression. That's kind of like a form of emotional abuse. Now that I think about it, because you don't really have a problem with us when it comes to Trump, other than the fact that we keep calling him out. But at a certain point, the rubber has to meet the road, Vegas girl, and you have to acknowledge that you're just getting started down this journey, and I'm going to continue to support you because I do believe eventually you'll get to where a lot of us already are. And
No, no, because
if you're truly a liberal.
I'm telling you, I want to go a different path and try
It-
to find common ground with
okay,
people. We got to pull other people over.
Vegas
I'm telling
girl,
you, if I leave you,
Vegas girl. How many paths? How many
I can't
paths?
even
I'm going to
finish
say
my
that.
point.
I'm going to because we've already heard this before. Every path you go down, it's going to end where we're all at. I promise you this. You can. I promise you, whatever path, and I'm going to support you to go down that path, right? Because I think the only way for you to learn is to actually live it and experience it. So I want to encourage you to continue on your journey to try to help and reach these people. I would never say that's a bad idea, but I'm just going to let you know all roads lead to destruction. And I promise you.
I just want to say this in closing, and then I'll drop. But if the Democrats, if we continue to just focus on negative stuff and always calling out, we need someone from our part. We need someone to emerge from our party and send us in a different and give us hope and some positive stuff.
You know what, Vegas?
I don't think that's wrong to think like that.
You need a cult leader. I get it. What's that, Kabir?
No, I don't need a cult leader.
Vegas, hold on 1 second. I hear this. I was watching, I believe it was Morning Joe this morning, and I get so sick and tired of hearing the Democrats, they're doing this. And I say to myself, except for having a couple of old people there that need to go away, all right, what are we doing wrong? See, as far as I'm concerned, they're feeding that message that the Republicans put out, that we are doing something drastically wrong, that we don't have a message or whatever it is. So I really tried to analyze this. I said, what are we doing wrong? I can't see it, except for people like Schumer, who's old and needs to go away. And I like Pelosi, but she's old and she needs to go away. We need fresh young blood in there, all right? So as far as I'm concerned, we're not putting out hatred. We're not putting out lies. We're not hypocrites. Okay? So I'm asking you, and I really want to answer, what are we doing? What this talking point that you have been saying for the half an hour you've been up on this panel, what are we doing wrong? I'll wait.
As far as the Democrats?
Yes, because I don't see it.
Okay, I see it like this because I go into all kinds of panels.
Mega panels.
Okay, you're asking me a question, but then you don't want me to answer.
Let her answer, please.
But you're talking about TikTok. We're talking about in real life.
We're trying to ask.
I'm talking about real life too. I have a life outside of TikTok.
Okay, Vegas, please continue. What are the Democrats doing? Ladies and gentlemen, Vegas girl is about to tell us what the Democrats are doing wrong.
This is just my opinion. Heaven forbid someone should think for themselves or differently.
Get it out, Vegas girl. Come on.
Stop.
Get it out, please.
Okay.
I'm trying to cook and book.
I want us to focus on finding. We don't have anybody right now leading our party that could even beat JD Vance. You think Gavin Newsom's going to beat JD Vance?
Okay, Vegas.
Probably not.
Can you say it in a clear,
AOC?
concise way? Say.
You think AOC's
Vegas.
the leader of our party?
Vegas. I want to help you with this.
Republican talking point.
Vegas girl. Say it like this so that I can, because I'm not that intelligent, right? Democrats need to do X, Y, and Z. What are X, Y, and Z, and make it as succinct as possible so that it's clear.
We need to stop focusing on Trump.
Okay.
He's going to be irrelevant in 3 years.
Okay, stop focusing on Trump. What else? So
he's not going to run in 2028.
But that's under stop focusing on Trump. What else?
Some of us liberals are tired of the negative stuff and the calling people names and the maggots and this and that. And calling everybody.
Okay, so let me make sure. Stop focusing on Trump. Stop calling names. So, hold on. Stop focusing on Trump. Stop calling names. That's it.
Let's have a more. Let's find a way to try to bring people back into the Democratic Party.
Try to find ways.
Because
Okay.
I'm telling you right now,
Okay.
if we go
Well,
down the same road,
I just wanted to know the
win.
3 bullet points. And
I'm
are
not
those?
in your live daily, Janae. Shut the fuck up. Block
Oh
my
my!
ass so I can't find you.
Hold on. So those are the 3 points that you think the Democrats need to work on, right?
Exactly.
Okay, fair enough. And
Why
I
is that a
appreciate
bad
that. I'll
thing?
I'll take that. I'll take that feedback under consideration.
Zeus, why is that a bad thing? Why am I a traitor
Vegas
now?
girl, I just wanted to know if you actually had ideas to bring to the community that we could look at and actually try to implement. All right? I never said that they were bad ideas. I just wanted to know if you knew what it was. All right? And it seems like that's it. So I encourage you to move forward, going forward, to do those. And I want to see it in action because I'm going to monitor you. I want to make sure that, number one, you are not calling names. But most importantly, you're never, ever going to bring Donald Trump up again. Right?
Sure. I can.
You're never going to bring Trump up again, right? Because this is what, because you got to be the mascot. You have to be the mascot of this.
Sure.
And so I don't want to see you bringing up Trump. I don't want to see you using names. And what was your third point? Try to bring the party together. Do you feel today like you've been uniting us?
No.
So you got a lot of work to do. You got a lot of work to do.
I feel like I've been getting it from all of you guys, but that's okay. I have thick skin.
So no, you got to do it.
I know that most of you are coming from a good place, so it's okay.
If it's Newsom versus J.D. Vance, are you going to vote for Newsom?
Well, I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna vote.
Let's twist your arm, right? Let's twist your arm. Okay.
Vance is worse than
Hold
Trump.
on, RC. Hold on, RC.
Yeah, wow, this is what.
The
Lord
one
have
thing
mercy.
you know, the one thing that we have a
You
problem
vote on
with.
policy or character? Like, what is going on? Vegas?
2 more minutes, and then we'll get to judgment.
With no chaser. You know what we're tired of, Vegas? Things that you will never experience in your life, and it has nothing to do with the right or the left or the blue or the red. It has to do with us living this problem. It has to do with Dr. Lex getting a noose thrown in his yard. It has to do with us being outside the pocket of lives like the ones you go into, and they call us ends with the hard R. This is what we live on a day-to-day basis. We have a problem with people coming up on Zeus's panel and disrespecting a full-fledged doctor like Dr. Keisha, not even acknowledging her as a black doctor. That's the problem that we have. See, you will never experience that because you are in your privilege of your white tea skin. And I'm not saying that to be negative to you, but it's a reality of what it is.
Exactly.
We deal with this on a day-to-day basis with our black skin. And this is what we're dealing with now with the border, when they're wanting to deport folks that are in brown skin. See, they still haven't said anything yet about anybody from the Europeans being deported. They still haven't said anything yet about the 500,000 undocumented Europeans in the United States. You haven't seen one get their door kicked in on. See, these are the things that you will never experience because you are in your white tea skin. And this is the level that we have at this point in time. And Q Dog is coming out a little bit here because I've been hearing you and listening to you, and Nutty and Takesha's already put their plate down. They're done with the meal. But we're going to get into the nitty gritty right about now. So you get a clear understanding on what you're doing, why you're doing it. This is the reason why I asked you, did you know that, Professor? Because you see it happening on a day-to-day basis. You hear Janae and all them in the live saying this rhetoric, and they ain't saying it about y'all white tea folks. They ain't saying it not one bit about y'all white tea folks. They're not calling you out your name. They're not calling you a white tea in with a hard R. They're not calling you none of that. But you hear it talking about us on a day-to-day basis, and you let it slide. Now, I'm landing my plane at this point in time, and you got some real tight decision-making right about now, because right now you're on the fence. You don't want to hurt them. You want to be friends with us. But hey, we're the ones that are getting affected by it.
That's
on a
right.
day-to-day
That's
basis.
that's the part, Vegas, we're trying to get you to understand.
WWQ
It's
dog.
affecting so many
WQ
people.
dog. So you understand we're being negatively harmed, Vegas, whether you want to agree with it or not, because I understand this is
Zeus, if that's the case, why do you go into their lives then and talk to them?
because what I'm doing is beyond what you're capable of doing. So you shouldn't even ask what Big Zeus does. W Zeus, Vegas girl. Remember,
That's just like asking Jesus, why did he go down to the pits of hell?
and I'm not Jesus anyway, but I get what you're saying. Vegas girl, I'm not new to this. I'm true to this. I go into these spaces because I have what Swervin says, the testicular fortitude, right? Big Zeus. And I get in there, and actually, they become the victims when I get in there. That's why I go there. But I'm bringing truth. I'm never, ever going to side with them. I don't take anything they say seriously. I'm going in there to do a complete annihilation, and then I get up out of there. What you're doing,
you gotta look a demon face to face, eye to eye.
correct, confronting them.
He ain't going nowhere.
Yeah, we're confronting them on their territory. You see what I do? And
We're not hanging out and discussing the weather with them.
And Vegas girl, I even say they could come over here if they think it's just a unfair advantage. Come on over here, and I'll have the conversation with them. But I'm not going to sit there and if I see them saying stuff that's not true, I don't catch it all. But either myself or the people listening, they'll come up here and correct them. And I've seen something last week that was incredible. I actually saw Sir Puff get up here and tell another MAGA demon that Donald Trump is a convicted felon. So it's really about the truth. What we're telling them is the truth. But Vegas girl, if you go around these people and you pacify them and you allow them to make you believe that it's okay to lie around you, then what you're doing is you're setting the tone of the relationship, and you can't be shocked when they turn around and basically stab you in the back. All right, it's like Donald Trump reads the poem about the snake. I encourage you to go listen to him read that, because he's talking about himself as the snake.
He is.
All right, now I got to get to judgment, Vegas girl. The people are saying we got to deal with, and I don't really want to do it.
Oh, you can. That's silly to me. I don't. I'm gonna look.
I don't really want to do.
I still consider you guys friends. I'm just
But-
trying to. I'm trying a different way for my own sanity, and to come up here and to have all of you guys come at me, which I respect.
You can't be a victim up here because we've been very nice.
I think
we're just giving it to you with no sugar. No chaser.
And I respect that,
we're wanting you to open your eyes and take them blinders off.
I don't think I have blinders on. I think I'm just trying.
When I say blinders, when you go into those lives, that's a blinder.
Mm-hmm.
They're not sure. They're only showing you the side that they want to show you.
I respectfully disagree.
I think Vegas girl, you did what?
Figure it out on her own, guys.
You respectfully disagreed with Big Zeus. Unfortunately, Vegas girl, I love you, but you got to go. Ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and send Vegas girl where she belongs straight. The MAGA demon is strong. You know what we got to do. I got to get out of here. Oh my gosh, hey! It's 10 o'clock. Jeez. I got to get up out of here. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. I'm out of here. To the panel.
Love you.
I gotta go. Sorry. Thank you, everyone. I'm sorry we can't even do the debriefing to get about here. I gotta go, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, Shay. I had to do it. I'm so sorry. But what do you expect at this point, ladies and gentlemen? That was to me grueling. But I hope we all learned something. All right, and that's this: you can't pretend like you're okay with the devil 1 second and then not okay. Because if you play with the devil, hell will be your reward. And so, Vegas girl. And the Bible has a part in there. If you're lukewarm, he'll spew you out. So I hope we all learned a very valuable lesson. Not only do we give it to these Trump supporters, but anytime we have to have a family meeting, we do not have a difficult time helping our family members understand that there's a difference between right and wrong. All right, I want to give each and every single one of you a huge round of applause. Thank you to all the subscribers, gifters, moderators, and panelists. Without you, this show wouldn't be as exciting and entertaining and as engaging as it is. My, oh my. All right, but I also got to give one last round of booze and shame, and I got to do this. They know exactly who they are, the Zeus haters. But these are not just my haters; these are also your haters. They hate us because we get out here and we tell the truth and we shame the devil every single day in order to save this great nation of ours. And I'll be honest with you, if you think the stuff we're talking about on a day-to-day basis is negative, then that means you are possessed, in my opinion, with the MAGA demon, because a lot of us, this is therapeutic in a way, right? Considering all the very, very harmful things that are going on in this great country of ours, having the ability to get out here and confront these Trump supporters in real time and to debunk their lies, it's not a negative thing. It's actually quite positive. But you know what? Let's give them one last round of booze and shame. I gotta go. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great one. Take care, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta get up out of here. Y'all better quit trying to make me work overtime, because that's totally unacceptable. All right, I need to, wow, that takes a lot out of your boy right there. Wow. I mean, all I did was play Joe Biden at the beginning, and they lost it. You see how I did that, right? I played some of Joe Biden, and they lost it. Wow. You guys, you need to work on it, seriously. Thank you, everyone, seriously. Thank you. Let's go. Hey, conservative Democrat, you keep on running to the devil, because you say the Democrats are making you run to W-bounce. You think the Democrats are making you run to Donald Trump? Well, if I'm making you run conservative Democrat, you know who you are. By all means, have as much fun in hell. Let's go ahead and get some drill, baby drill, ladies and gentlemen, and we'll get up out of here. I can't believe this, ladies and gentlemen. What a crazy show.
Let's go back to. We're going to end that.
So what are we going to do?
We will
wow.
Frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill. We're going to drill, baby, drill.
Wow.
Drilling so deep. We're going to be for these guys. We're going to drill. We're going to take out so much money. We're going to pay down our debt. We're going to lower your taxes.
Let's go.
Insane asylums. You know,
take care, ladies and gentlemen, seriously.
The late, great Hannibal Lecter. Drill, baby, drill. We're going to frack, frack. Drill, there's a frack, frack, frack. So baby, there's a lesson in the energy. You know she's going to bang. You know she's going to bang you. Right? Up in there, she was a
Thank you, everyone.
All the stuff, and then all the stuff, and then all the
take care, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a great rest of your morning. What did she say? She said, I like fracking very much. Look, they always go back to what they want. They always go back. She can't help it. She's a radical.
She can't help it. And we will frack, 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 and drill, baby, drill. We're gonna drill, baby, drill. We're gonna be drilling so deep. We're gonna be for these guys.
All that W Trump stuff, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Let's go. Hey, Vegas girl, I'm gonna hold you to it though. I want to see you bringing people into the fold, bring people into the Democrat Party. What did she say is the other point? No name calling, no, and never ever mention Donald Trump. Let's go. Hey, we're going to drill. Hey, here we go. You know they go crazy when I say, what do you do?
The late great Hannibal.
Oh my gosh.
They say, why would he mention Hannibal Lecter?
Uh-oh. What is he going to do?
We're going to lower your taxes.
That part.
Deep insane asylums. You know, they go crazy when I say the late great Hannibal. Drill, 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 baby, drill, with a fat, drill, baby, drill, like it's Hannibal Lecter.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, Big Zeus has to honestly get up out here. I'll see you all tomorrow, same Zeus time, same Zeus channel.